Houston, a pair of blown leads in the ninth, left them with a 3-7 road trip. Tonight, they return home to face one of the most improved teams in baseball. Aaron Harang and the Reds against Levon and the Nats. Masson HD.
It's a great day for baseball.
We're expecting a big crowd at the ballpark tonight. Welcome to Nationals Park. Sure is good to be back home after a long, long road trip. And faces like that will bring us home every time. Nats are back for 6. It seems like we've been gone forever. Bob Carpenter and Rob Dibble now 19 of the last 24 on the road for the Nats. They've only won 6 of those, Rob. But winning on the road seems to be something a lot of big league ball clubs struggle with.
Yeah, I mean, you're just trying to play 500 baseball on the road. If you could do that, you can be successful and go to the playoffs if you play about 650 at home. On the road, though, we're struggling lately. It was a very, very bad road trip. And you see the 12 and 19. There you see one-run games on the road and 7 for 12 and save opportunities on the road. Just not to our liking, but that can change. And we played a lot more road games than we have home games. So you come home, and this is where we are, Bob. 14 and 10 at home, playing very well. 7 and 2 in one-run ball games, and 9 for 10 in save opportunities. So we love the home cooking. Hopefully we can have a very successful home campaign and then go back out on the road.
The thing that concerns you, though, the recent road trip featured 3 of the worst hitting teams in the National League, the Giants, the Padres, and the Astros. That's not the case with your alma mater. Cincinnati is best in the league in almost every category.
Yeah, they're number 1 in almost every category. They're a slugging team. They're a lot like the Toronto Blue Jays in the American League. 3, except a much better batting average for the team. 278 runs, 70 home runs, and there you see the slugging percentage. So you're going to have to keep the ball down. You're going to have to make your pitches, and you definitely want to keep the ball in the ballpark. But the bottom line is, we play well against very good pitchers and very good teams.
Nyjer Morgan making some noise in Houston, 8 for 19 in the last 4 games. He has scored 7 runs, added 17 points onto his batting average. He's got to be an igniter in this series. TNT, rethink possible. And by Jaguar. Visit your local Jaguar dealer to experience the 2011 Jaguar XJ. A hot day in our nation's capital. Temperatures well up into the 90s today. The kind of baseball weather where the ball is really, really flying. And I'm not sure that's good news with the Cincinnati Reds in town. Some game notes for you. Levon has been outstanding at home. Had a shutout here against the Dodgers. Has never given up this year more than 2 runs or 5 hits. Johnny Gomes wasn't even tendered a contract until spring training or thereafter, and he's having a big year for the Reds. Hit a couple of homers against the Nats in a game last year. Willie Amos, one of his 3 career blasts against tonight's Reds starter, Aaron Harang. Cincinnati hitting .275, 278 runs, 70 homers, all of those figures best in the league. And they picked up veteran shortstop Orlando Cabrera. He's hitting .290 since they put him in the leadoff spot. Not a big on-base percentage guy, but he's been a good shortstop who has hit everywhere he's been in the major leagues. The junior member of the umpiring crew, Dan Bellino, has the plate tonight. Crew chief Joe West will have the plate tomorrow. He's at first. Angel Hernandez and Paul Schreiber. Nationals are 14-10 at home. The Reds are even Steven, 12-12 on the road. Cincinnati's 4-5 against the East, and the Nats are 5-7 against the Central.
And Bob, a couple of guys we need to watch tonight, especially on the road. Scott Rowland hit .316 on the road, and runners in scoring position, Johnny Gomes, .447. There's a couple of guys in the lineup that like right-handed pitching and hitting on the road.
So Levon leads the guys out for his 11th start. Some kids at every position tonight. That little guy with a Zimmerman jersey will forever remember meeting Levon Hernandez between the lines. All right, Rob Dibble, you're back tonight. We're going to put you right to work scouting Levon.
Well, it's a balancing act with Levon. He balances slow balls and fastballs up in the upper 80s, mid 80s, and lower 60s with the breaking balls and off-speed stuff. Firefly, he is a fly ball hitter, and this is a home run hitting team. 274 batters faced. He has only allowed 7 home runs, and he's retired 123 via the fly ball. And play stopper. Stop that losing streak. Stop the bad feeling that they just had coming off the road and turn the page.
Nationals defensively, it's been a nightmare lately. 50 errors, the most in baseball. And the defense brought to you by Cisco Federal. Willingham, Morgan, and Bernardina. Desmond back at short today with Guzman up the middle. Zimmerman done at the corners, and Willie Amos. Cisco Federal is a proud mission partner to the United States Department of Defense. Jim Riggleman's ball club losing 3 straight now, 26-29. The Reds are 8 games over 500. They're in a first-place tie in the Central with St. Louis. They have Adam Wainwright going against Milwaukee tonight, so Cincinnati fans doing a lot of scoreboard watching these days. And Dusty Baker has himself a pretty good ball club in his 3rd year at Cincinnati. He won 74 games 2 years ago, 78 last year. But the Reds have not been to postseason play since the 1995 season, when they beat the Dodgers in the division series and lost to the Braves in the LCS. And we all remember their last World Championship. Rob Dibble on the team that swept Oakland in 4 straight back in '90. Well, scheduled first pitch was 7:05, but we're on Levon time tonight. And going up hacking is Cabrera, fouling it back.
Well, and you know who took over this team a few years ago, Walt Jocketty. He's brought in a lot of older veteran players, including Cabrera at short and Rowland at third, to tighten up the defense, at least from that side of the infield.
Cabrera hits it up the middle. Desmond gets a hop, hops near the bag, and throws him out. It's an interesting matchup as we tell you about our game time weather. Cloudy skies, a chance of showers a little later. 84 degrees and quite muggy. But I know at one time this afternoon I was driving, and the temperature gauge on my car said it was 96 in our nation's capital today. Here's Brandon Phillips, who was in the cleanup spot earlier for the Reds. He's hitting .280 on a 6-game hitting streak. Only the Toronto Blue Jays, with 91 homers, in Boston with 74, have hit more than the Reds 70. Brandon Phillips, 7 homers, 18 RBIs. And he drives it out of play to the right side. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nats start the series with a team ERA of 4.22, 11th in the National League. So from the number standpoint, it's not a good matchup for Washington pitching. But Rob, the Reds are a fastball hitting club. They love hard throwers. And the Nats don't really have anybody like that on their starting staff right now.
Well, that was a good job by Phillips right there. Knew something off speed was coming. Didn't try to pull that ball. He probably would have put it on the ground and short. Just drove it right back up the middle. And he's got 40 runs scored, Bob. And that's what you want at the top of your batting order. A guy that is on base for all those home runs. And there you see the breaking ball hits second base.
Only Matt Kemp and Martin Prado have scored more runs in the National League than Brandon Phillips. Now here's Joey Votto, the first baseman, who's second in the league in hitting, third in on-base percentage, and he's fourth in slugging percentage. In fact, 2 of the top slugging guys are coming up. Will Nieves, and his throw hits the runner. It's another Washington error. And he had Brandon Phillips, Rob. Phillips did not get that great of a break, and a good throw anywhere near the bag would have had him. And the error fest continues.
Well, I can't remember the last time I saw Will Nieves throw it to second on a line directly, and right there, once again, short of the bag. You need to try to throw it and lead the runner over the bag, not throw to the bag. And he continues to short hop the bag, and once it short hops a guy that's in motion like Ian Desmond, very hard to pick it up, and you just basically gave the guy third base.
Off speed gets Joey Votto on a swing and a miss.
I mean, if he can't reach second base, I'd rather have him not throw it, to be quite honest with you. Just eat it, hold on to it, let the guy steal second base, because not only is that a costly throwing error, it put the guy in scoring position with 1 out.
Well, and I was watching the play kind of in the big picture from way up here, and it looked to me like Phillips was dead with any throw near the bag. 2-1 on that one up and away to Votto, with a slugging percentage of .579, and a guy that's 5 points higher than him is on deck.
Well, and I know this organization's high on Will, but Maldonado has a better throwing arm, and Maldonado's a bigger catcher behind there. So when Ivan Rodriguez comes back, and Maldonado's also caught Strasburg, I don't know what you do with Nieves.
On the inside corner, 2-2.
But I need my backup catcher, like a Henry Blanco, to be a better defender than Pudge Rodriguez, which is hard to do.
Good to see Pudge. We haven't seen him in 10 days. He did not make the trip because that would have not been good for his back, sitting on the plane that much. And a 2-2 pitch to Votto. That's close. Levon with that swing back fastball, just missing.
It's a good pitch right here. You throw it right at that front hip. It comes back over the plate, maybe just a little bit inside, but
Joey Votto, one of the best young sluggers now in this league. Levon baited him with that breaking ball outside.
61-mile-an-hour backdoor breaking ball, Rob.
Votto only 26 years of age, but a .310 batting average in 2+ years with the Reds. And he drove in 84 runs last year, despite a bout with depression and anxiety that had him on the DL right about this time last year. Runner at third, 1 out, 3-2 pitch. They're going to jam him or walk him. And that was right in the hands of the left-handed batter.
Well, he foul tipped it. Will wasn't able to hold on to it.
Votto is from Toronto. Second-round draft pick by the Reds 8 years ago. This guy was in the minor leagues for more than 6 years. I think one of the big keys for their ball club is the guy on deck, Scott Rowland, back healthy. Veteran. 3-2 again. Same pitch coming. Yep. Fastball gets by him for the second out.
Beautifully done. Nice two-seamer. Didn't get the call 2 pitches earlier, and he gets the call that time. The way you throw this is right at the hitter's hip. He throws that two-seam fastball at his hip, and so it looks like it's coming right at you. If you're Joey Votto, very tough to hit, and he just waves at it.
Scott Rowland is back healthy after Jason Marquis hit him in the helmet with a pitch last year and gave him a concussion. He is on an absolute tear with 13 homers and 37 RBIs.
Well, they play in a bandbox. They play in a hitter's ballpark that was built for Ken Griffey Jr., who just retired to beat Hank Aaron's home run record. So they take full advantage when they're at home hitting home runs.
Rowland drove in over 100 runs 3 times with St. Louis before a falling out with Tony La Russa regarding playing time during the playoffs. Made a detour to Toronto. He's on the verge of 300 home runs. And a 2-0. Almost hit him. Didn't look like Scott was going to try to get out of the way here.
Let's throw you some rolling numbers out there.
A lot of sluggers in the league in this series.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing was, Walt Jocketty took a huge chance on this guy. He wasn't playing that well in Toronto. He was making a big chunk of change.
And they traded 3 players for him.
Yes, they traded an awful lot for him.
But the Reds only had 13 home runs from all their third basemen last year, including Edwin Encarnacion, who went to Toronto. And Scott Rowland already has equaled that number. Zimmerman and Phillips giving each other a hard time. 3 balls and a strike with 2 outs in the first. Rowland takes the walk, first and third, 2 outs. It looked like Levon didn't want to have a whole lot to do with Scott Rowland.
Rowland coming in, though, in 44 at bats, actually 35 at bats, only had 7 hits, so I don't know if he was pitching around him or just being careful.
Maybe Levon looked at the same National League stat sheet that we did today.
No, Levon is wise. He knows who's hot. You want to know who's hot over the last 2 weeks. Right. And right now, not too many people hotter than Scott Rowland.
Here's Jay Bruce, who broke onto the scene in big fashion a couple of years ago. Came up to Cincinnati in 08, number 4 Rookie of the Year voting by the time he was done. And then he broke his right wrist last year, was out for 2 months. 2-0. And Bruce is only 23. Out of Beaumont, Texas.
They brought him up at about 20 years old, Bob. I mean, they rushed him right up to the major leagues. And like you said, they didn't have a lot of talent at the major leagues 3 years ago. It's taken him a while to build up a team.
Levon doesn't give in. He throws him off speed on 2-0.
Nice changeup, 2-0 changeup. You're looking fastball, especially if you're 23, and you get about a 76-mile-an-hour changeup. You see how far away from it he was.
Long inning here. 22nd pitch. Just missing, according to the rookie umpire, Dan Bellino.
Pitch track right here, 2-1. He wants to keep it down. This is a good home run hitting team. Got no problem with that.
On the corner, sets up Nieves.
Ball looked a little bit out. See where Will's setting up, and that pitch looks like a little bit of a backdoor slider. Take that pitch.
Runner at first, Scott Rowland will be moving, and he's one of the best base runners of any big man in baseball. 3-2 pitch. Up the middle, Desmond on a hop. Levon and the Nats are out of the inning. A long one for Hernandez. Aaron Harang now goes to work against the Nats. Tyler Walker told me to say that, by the way. Guzman, Morgan, and Zimmerman. And Niger had a great series in Houston. 8 for 19 in 4 games. But more importantly, he scored 7 runs. Dunn, Willingham, Bernardina, Ian Desmond back in after his nightmare in the field on Wednesday, and Will Nieves. So maybe some home cooking takes care of some of those problems. And here is 32-year-old Aaron Harang. 79 career wins. Career ERA of 4.30. Doesn't face our ball club much. This is only the 6th start against the Montreal Washington franchise dating back to 2003. Guzman hitting .313, 6th in the league. And Harang, who is a strike thrower, gets ahead. 52 strikeouts, Rob, only 15 walks. And there's that career record in 5 starts against Montreal and Washington.
It's a lot like Levon. He is a big-time control command guy. Sets the tone.
Guzman out in front, and he pulls it foul. Dan Radisson with a nifty pickup.
I was going to say, he's not going to dominate you with stuff. He's just like Levon. He's topping out at 88, 89. Throws a lot of innings. There was one year where, actually like 2 years, he and Bronson Arroyo, most innings pitched in baseball between the two of them on the same club. So
that's close, ball 3.
They work hard, but they will go after you too. And if you look at Harang's ERA, 5.5, Arroyo 5 basically. So they're not going to trick you too much. They're going to give up a lot of hits.
Harang warming up with the weather and with his teammates. Guzman will fly one to left for Johnny Gomes.
Downhill racer, in my neck of the woods, they call him a big goof. 6'7", about 270, up and away. 70 ERA on the road and a 355 batting average against on the road. And he's a fly ball guy, much like Levon. 124 fly ball outs, 287 guys faced, and 11 of them have left the building.
Niger Morgan raised his batting average in Houston from 242 to 259. On the grass at third is Roland, one of the best third basemen in baseball in recent years. There you see Roland, who's on the grass. Scott Roland has won 7 Gold Gloves. Only Brooks Robinson and Mike Schmidt more at third base. Morgan takes it upstairs, but it's good enough to be a strike. The amazing Brooks Robinson won 16 Gold Gloves, Mike Schmidt 10. Niger likes it at home, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
83 points higher. So you can tell how badly he was doing on the road until he caught fire in Houston, going 8 for 19.
Well, until the manager pretty much moved to the 2-hole. Once he got behind Christian Guzman, it's almost like he relaxed a little bit. Took a deep breath.
He got jammed on that one, but it's going to get through. And Niger Morgan is 9 for his last 20. Now the catcher behind the plate, the former Oriole, Ramon Hernandez. I think you would call it respectable numbers. 21 attempted steals. He has gunned out 7.
Nice little jam shot. He powers it through the hole. Doesn't try to do too much. Exactly what you want him to do. Hit down on the ball and start running.
All right, let's test your short-term memory, folks. Who leads the National League in slugging percentage? It was on the graphic we showed you at the top of the first. .602 for Ryan Zimmerman, who's also 7th in the league now, hitting at .311, and his on-base percentage has skyrocketed up to .411, 4th best in the National League.
Didn't want to pitch to him an awful lot on that road trip.
Boy, Houston avoided him like the plague. Oof. They took Ryan and sent him out onto a Gulf of Mexico oil rig and forgot about him for 4 days. 1-1, 7th in extra base hits, and 7th in home runs. Great with runners on. This is the department where Adam Dunn has really struggled this year, but not Ryan Zimmerman. Target away. Oregon a short lead by his standards. Ryan asking for time and getting it from Dan Bellino, but not stepping out until the umpire said yes.
I remember Hernandez from San Diego and then Baltimore. He's never been the best defensive catcher. He's more of an offensive guy.
33% this year.
I just don't see Harang also being a big, lumbering kind of pitcher, having a great delivery, probably about a 1-1, 1-2. So Niger, if he gets a good jump, should probably be able to swipe second.
Ramon Hernandez over an entire season last year, his first with the Reds was 25%. 1-1, Niger holding. And Harang keeping the ball down and away, had Zimmerman pretty much swinging with one hand.
But I did agree with Ray and you when you guys were in Houston talking about there's no reason for Niger to get thrown out at second with guys like Ryan Zimmerman and Adam Dunn coming to the plate.
That is the different dynamic of him batting second, isn't it?
Absolutely. So with these guys coming up, they can drive you in with a double. You've got great speed. There's no reason to be thrown out. And since he's not a real good base stealer, just get a nice lead and hope for a gapper and get a 1-0 ball game. Got to start playing smart baseball. That's one thing the Nationals did not do on that road trip. It's time to just start playing regular baseball, guys. Know what to do when the ball's hit. Know what to do when the ball's hit to you.
And down to third for Roland. Phillips with Niger going after him, and he fumbled the ball on the exchange. It'll be a force out. And Brandon Phillips had Niger Morgan speeding toward him. 2 outs with Dunn coming up. Here's our Cisco Cincinnati defense. Drew Stubbs can really run in center field. Gomes and Bruce flanking him. Cabrera, the new addition, up the middle with Brandon Phillips. Joey Votto, Scott Rowland, and Ramon Hernandez on the close part of the infield. Scott Rowland, all those Gold Gloves, and one of the best throwing arms, but even more than that, one of the most accurate arms you will ever see at third base. I remember when we were in St. Louis 4 years ago, I told Scott, hey, watch this Zimmerman kid who just came up last September and tell me what you think. And Scott Rowland was very impressed with Ryan, and that was 4 years ago. And Zimmerman's only gotten better since. Adam Dunn with the shift on. Teams are just jamming him until he proves he can open up and fly the ball down the line.
You see the defense. No doubles or done deep. Let's get way back. It's like a softball game.
Inside again. You know, and it's one thing, Rob, to decide how you're going to pitch a guy. It's another thing to execute it. And Houston, even though their pitching staff was 12th in the league in ERA, they executed beautifully against Adam Dunn nearly that entire series. I mean, he got his hits, but he never really drove the ball against them. That's 3-1. I think we'll end up with a crowd of around 30,000 or more here tonight. And they've come to see one of the most exciting teams in the league in Cincinnati. 3-1 to Dunn. There's a ball driven into the right field corner. Zimmerman digging for third. Bruce fumbles it, throws into second, and Adam Dunn. That's as hard as he's hit a ball in quite some time.
Almost killed Joey Votto at first.
And then it was hit so hard that over 300 feet away, Jay Bruce had a hard time picking it up. Good spot for Josh Willingham with 2 outs.
Not a lot of magic and trickery by Harang on that pitch as it was slammed over the head of Joey Votto, and Jay Bruce just tries to slow it down. Watch this right here. Wham! Look out!
Zimmerman had to duck before he ran to second. Two hits for the Nats here. Willingham's in the top 10 of the league in RBIs with 37. Tied with Scott Rowland for 9th. Nationals are 7th in batting average, 9th in runs and in homers. Ryan working very slowly. Another Nats hitter steps out.
Very nice with runners in scoring position and 2 outs, and it's 300.
And then in contrast, lately we've seen teams, I don't know if you call it pounding, but they're keeping the ball away from Josh Willingham, daring him to hit to right center.
Well, I think the book's out. They know he's quick on the inner half, looking for stuff from the center to the inside part of the plate. He's just going to have to start jacking the ball into right center field and hitting it with authority to the right-hand side.
Good check swing.
Joe West says no.
Joe West didn't even signal safe. He just went half fooey. Ball 2. Ball 1. Not an easy pitch to take.
Nope. He's just a bigger and taller version of Livan Hernandez. A little bit better heat.
Willingham gets a fastball down the middle, but it's going to stay in the middle of the ballpark. Drew Stubbs has it, and each team stranding 2 runners in the first inning. Double and get your second room of flooring free at 877-241-LUNA. Rob Dibble's first manager, Pete Rose, the Great Red. Look at the doubles. How many doubles against the Expos? 24 big league seasons, 95 games for the Expos. Most prolific base hitter ever, Pete Rose. Second to none, obviously.
Goes by the Hit King.
4,192,
I think.
92, that sounds right. Here's an indication of how much better Pete Rose was and how many more hits he had than anybody else. Who had the National League hit record before Pete Rose? He surpassed him by 500 hits, and that was Stan Musial, who had 3,630. And of course, then Ty Cobb, the American leaguer, the record that he broke. Johnny Gomes, this guy's quite a story, Rob, for a lot of reasons on and off the field.
And a heart attack. He was 24 years old. For 24 hours. That's how tough he was before he went to the hospital.
Happened on Christmas Eve in 2002.
Good kid. He's one of my favorite guys. Every time I talk to him, I enjoy him. He's respectful, very well-mannered. Good guy.
He was in a boyhood car accident involving a friend, Adam Westcott, who lost his life. Johnny pays tribute to him with an AW tattoo. He hits this ball a pretty good ways, the opposite way, and Roger Bernardina is there to grab it. Right at the edge of the track for the first out. And Levon, after 2 grounders and a strikeout, gets a fly ball. Johnny Gomes is a strong, young hitter. And he's young in terms of major league experience, Rob. He's 29, but he's never really been given a chance by Tampa Bay.
Never got his 500 at-bats.
Or Cincinnati to play every day. I think this year he will.
If he gets his 500 at-bats, he's going to hit 35, 40 home runs. He hit that a long way. The ball's carrying. It's humid. It's getting to be like summer. The balls are going to start jumping all over the ballpark.
A little too tall for Guzman on that line drive. And Drew Stubbs, who was their leadoff man, gets a base hit, but he was hitting around 220 or so. Since they've moved him to the number 7 spot, he's hitting 330.
That pitch was just up in the zone. He just takes it to right field, doesn't try to pull it. It would have been a grounder to short. By the way, Pete Rose, 4,256 hits. That 41.92 broke Ty Cobb's record.
There you go.
That's why I was embedded. But 42.56 is what he ended up with.
So Stubbs, the former Texas Longhorn, visits with a guy who almost was a Texas Longhorn, Adam Dunn. Stubbs was a 3-time All-American at UT. Here's the number 8 hitter, the catcher Ramon Hernandez. He's running. Nieves throw, short.
Again. You got to stop one hopping it. You got to get it there in the air.
Guzman tried to make a tag, but the ball fell out of his glove, and the Reds are 2 for 2.
You get paid to make this throw. You're in the major leagues. You got to throw it knee high at the bag, and that one hops second baseman again. It's also dangerous for your guys to be standing there trying to catch your throw instead of trying to make a tag. You see the slide come up right by his knee.
Runner at second base, 1 out, and Hernandez the hitter. Bud says, John, everything will be fine when I get back in this.
That's what I'm saying. You know, Maldonado threw a couple of guys out on that road trip. Not the best hitter. He even ran into a home run. I mean, you got to make tough decisions. You can't just keep guys around because you like them.
Maldonado went 2 for 3 yesterday.
But he's a very strong defensive catcher with a strong arm, and he's a big guy. You know, I like throwing to big guys. I'm sure our guys like throwing to big guys, but you've got to be able to reach second base in the air.
Hernandez hitting 300 this year with 13 RBIs. So the Reds don't get a lot of power down there, 2 home runs. But a catcher who's hit over 320 in the last month.
Always a good hitter. Always known as a good offensive hitter. Kind of like Russell Martin.
Levon with a good fastball to the outside corner.
Yeah,
it's 1 and 2.
I want to give you 2 more Pete Rose things. A couple of major league records besides the hits. 3,562 career games played and 14,053 career at bats. That's a lot of walking up to the plate.
One of the most famous moments ever, the home plate collision with Ray Fosse in the All-Star game at the Houston Astrodome. Big breaking ball, and serving it to left field, Hernandez. Scampering home, Stubbs. Throw is late, and the Reds lead 1-0. So the stolen base factors in for Cincinnati. You know, Rob, we didn't mention they're 3rd in the league in steals behind the Mets and the Padres.
Oh, no. Their job right now, they've got some guys with high ERAs. They want to steal some bases. That's actually looked like a knuckleball by Levon. We'll have to look at that replay again. Strong throw by Josh. Not a lot of velocity on the hit by Hernandez, but let's watch this pitch. Let's watch what it does. It's a big breaking ball, but it tumbles, but he was right on and he was waiting for it. So the Reds just seem to be up and watching a lot of Levon Hernandez video. I'm sure they're ready for that slow curveball.
Well, it was a slow curveball that doomed him in San Francisco to the opposing pitcher. Levon was cruising along with the lead until Todd Wellemeyer got him, and then 4 hits later, the Giants had basically won that game. Meringue deadens that ball perfectly. Levon throws to Christian Guzman for the second out. Sacrifice good, 1-4. And second base, 2 down, Hernandez for Orlando Cabrera.
Levon did not have a good month of May. He got hit around a little bit in the month of May, gave up more home runs in the month of May than April. So, I mean, as it goes on in the season and people are hip to him, okay, this is what he's doing. He's moving the ball in and out. But when he's throwing those bad breaking balls away from people, they're not trying to pull him anymore. They're just punching him out there. And that's exactly what the Giants and the Padres did, was just punch those bad breaking balls the other way.
Cabrera bounced out to short to open the game. 275 career hitter. In 12 years with Montreal, Boston, the Angels, White Sox, A's, and Minnesota. We just saw John Garland last weekend in San Diego. He was traded from the Angels to the White Sox for Garland back in 08. Split time between Oakland and Minnesota last year. And hit 280 in one place, 289 in the other.
He's a former Gold Glover. He's a clutch hitter. And all he does is get his teams to win wherever he goes.
Well, Rob, his addition to the Red Sox back in 04
helped them win their first World Championship.
Really, they were having lots of defensive problems. And he showed up in 58 games, caught the ball, and hit 294.
Look at that. Runners in scoring position, clutch, 350. He's just one of those guys that gets it done. That's like Scott Rowland. Say what you will about Scott Rowland. He might not be liked by a lot of managers, but the guy can play some Gold Glove third and get some key hits for you. That's Cabrera. You got to recognize as the catcher, and I've said this about Will before, they're shortening up and trying to take that stuff to right. So that's when you speed up their bats. You start throwing hard stuff again. Baseball's about adjustments, and once you see other teams adjusting to your pitcher, you have to make the proper adjustments behind the dish. You really get exposed when our starting catchers get injured.
There's that slow curveball going outside. Boy, the pitch count really piling up on Levon. 24 in the first inning, 17 here. Young Mike Leake and Luis Adelano tomorrow night. Watson Arroyo for the Reds on Sunday.
Well, we're going to get three similar pitchers 3 days in a row. Because Harang, Arroyo, and Leake are all off-speed type guys. They don't throw more than 90 miles an hour, and they're going to change speeds. So it's basically like facing Levon Hernandez 3 days in a row for our offense. They've got to be patient and take the ball the other way.
Three-two pitch with a runner at second. And a chopper to third. Tough play, Zimmerman. Bare hand. Yes! Ryan Zimmerman with Gold Glove defense. And that keeps the Reds from having two men on in the second. They score a run. Ryan might have prevented some more with that Gold Glove play. That was a long throw, Rob. He was not that far down the line toward home plate.
Well, and what he does so beautifully, cups the hand, makes a beautiful pickup with his bare hand like it's another glove. Doesn't try to find the seams. He just picks it up and guns it. And he's one of the best in the game at this. When Scott Brocious was in baseball, he was the best. Now, the Highlander, that would be Zimmerman.
Another good third baseman on the grass here for a speedster in Roger Bernardina as Roland stares down the line at him.
You didn't get that reference, did you? In the movie, in the Highlander movie, there can only be one. So they go around and they cut each other's heads off till there's one good one left. That's Zimmerman.
You know, I can't believe we missed that one on Family Night.
Come on, Highlander.
Let me tell my wife about that. We'll get the kids together and watch people decapitate each other.
It's a sword movie. Sean Connery's in it.
I know.
It's a lot of my ancestors fighting in kilts.
It was funny because on one of the flights the other night, sitting with our buddy Justin Jerry, who operates the pitch track, we watched Caddyshack on the plane the other night, and I realized where about 1/4 of your material comes from.
Hey, kill the Gophers.
When Ted Knight said you'll get nothing and like it, I almost fell out of my chair.
There you go.
I had forgotten about that. Here's Desmond hitting .263. And he's all locked up. Harang's got some good deception going right now. The count's 0-2 in the young shortstop.
I have to move up to Blazing Saddles. We're going to have to do a number 6 on him. That's where we go in, a whumping and a whomping, everything to within an inch of its life.
Well, it sounds good for the offense. How about some contact here?
True. Let's get some base runners.
There's one on an 0-2 pitch. Ian Desmond has the Nationals' 3rd hit. He'll add to his .263 average. On a ball hit solidly up the middle. Great approach by the young hitter behind in the count. He took out the pull and just took the pitch from where it came. That's not a good 0-2 pitch.
Not a good 0-2 pitch. Way up in the zone. If you're going to try to throw a fastball by a guy, at least come a little high and tight. That was up and away. And nice job there by the Rook. Oh, here it is. Ian Desmond loves hitting at night. I would say this is about Twilight. .323 when playing at night. But bad across the way, Joey Votto, .339.
Almost hit Nieves, that fastball. Will is 3 for his last 21. His batting mark down to .203. Will started the season a .234 career hitter in parts of 6 years with San Diego, the Yankees, and the Nats. Counts even 1-1. By the way, Roy Halladay isn't perfect tonight. Gave up 3 hits early. Phillies at home to San Diego. 1-0 Padres. Marlins at the Mets are underway. 1-0 Florida early. That's Anibal Sanchez and R.A. Dickey. Later tonight, the Braves are on the West Coast to take on the Dodgers. And they are unbelievably hot. Atlanta's won 9 in a row. They're 10 over 500. And they've won 19 of their last 23 games to lead the Phillies by 3. Marlins 4.5 back, the Mets 5, the Nats 6.5 back now in the East.
Well, Baltimore down 3-0 to the Red Sox with my former teammate and new manager, Juan Samuel.
Orioles have lost 8 in a row and cost Dave Tremblay his job today.
A good man, by the way.
Well, the East now has 1 game under 500, up to the Nats to do something about that.
Yeah, we're well within striking distance.
And there's help on the way. I'm sure in some movie you've seen, they say reinforcements are on the way.
Yeah, here comes the cavalry.
A good hit and run count here if Jim Riggleman wanted to do that down by a run. Runner holding, and Nieves fouls it off to the right.
Well, does Skipper say anything about Pudge? When do they expect Pudge back?
And Debbie Taylor talked to Pudge today. She'll have more in a moment, but basically, Pudge will be playing sometime next week. I really think Jim kind of angled around the issue today, but it sounds to me like he really would like Pudge to be behind the plate for Steven Strasburg Tuesday night.
Yeah, so would I.
That's a wild pitch. It hit way outside, and then it went right through Ramon Hernandez, and Ian Desmond gets to scoring position.
Harang does shorten up his stride a lot. Right there, he tries to throw a huge hook. And it gets right by Hernandez, as we've already told you. Not the greatest defender when it comes to catching.
Well, a base hit ties the game. Will's driven in 6 runs on the year. Hits are even at 3. Lots of base runners already in this game. Andy Avis on a breaking ball out ahead of it, 2 outs. It'll be up to Levon, a good hitting pitcher. We're going to have a ladies' night on this homestand next Thursday. Pirates in town. It's a luau theme. And ladies' night includes food and drink specials, games, prizes, and live music from 4 p.m. till 7:05 first pitch. Go to nationals.com/ladies' night or call 202-632-7649 for your ladies' night tickets. Levon has 9 home runs and 75 career RBIs. So he'll have to knock one home here to tie this thing up. He's 2 for 20 without an RBI this year. Crowd quiet, waiting for some excitement here at 2-0. Top of the order, Guzman, if Levon can keep it going. He wasn't going to be swinging on 2-0. Now Aaron Harang threatens to walk the opposing pitcher.
I think Levon takes 2 here.
He hasn't walked this year. I know it's tempting.
Go crowd the plate.
That if he throws another one like that, that Riggleman would give him the green light to swing. Probably Levon's call. He knows what he's doing in there.
Yeah, that was the best pitch Harang's thrown, 90 by the way.
Levon threatens to bunt, which was not going to happen.
See, when Aaron just kind of loosens up and lets it go nice and easy, that was an easy 92-mile-an-hour fastball. If he does that, just smack this sucker into right field.
I'm not sure Levon was swinging there either. So the Nats, for the second consecutive inning, have 2 on, 2 out. This time it's up to Christian Guzman, who suddenly is struggling a bit. He had that bloop single for the tying run, actually the go-ahead run yesterday in Houston. But after collecting 3 hits on Monday, he had struggled in 3 days at Minute Maid Park, a hitter's haven. Desmond at second base, good speed. Levon at first base. Christian, if you gap one, don't catch him. Half swing, strike 1, says Paul Schreiber. And Nats fans are going to be real unhappy with every check swing that goes against our ball club for the next week or so. That's not as far as Lance Berkman went. I'll get over it.
You don't have to get over it. It was a bad call. You think they're going to get over that bad call in Detroit anytime soon?
Well, that's why they couldn't change that.
That's right.
Because if they gave him a perfect game, they'd have to give the Nats the win and take away the 85 World Series from the Lawrence.
Galarraga is going to be 100 times more famous for not getting the perfect game than getting the perfect game.
1-1 pitch. Guzman breaking his bat, strike 2.
I mean, GM's already given him a Corvette. He's probably going to do Letterman and Leno, and Roy Halladay and Dallas Braden aren't going to do that stuff. No, I think Galarraga's just fine. No, I'm more ticked about the bad call on Berkman. It cost the Nationals a ball game.
Yeah.
That didn't cost the Tigers a ball game. It cost the guy an individual accolade, but not a ball game.
1-2 now to Guzman. Livan Hernandez threw 43 pitches in his 2 innings. And with Niger Morgan on deck, Aaron Harang is up to 45, having recorded just 5 outs. He goes soft with a breaking ball, 3-2.
You got a Snickers bar? Because I don't think we're going anywhere for a while. I mean, between Livan and this guy, they're almost up to 100 pitches combined, and we're not even through 2 innings.
What was the one you used to eat all day?
Well, that's an everlasting gob.
Slowpoke. You need a slowpoke.
Yeah. I'm not that old. I've never heard of a slowpoke. Come on. Snickers.
Our truck knew that one. A certain member down there. That is foul. Absolutely scorched by Guzman. And the runners return. They were on the move. Do it again. Desmond at second, Livan Hernandez at first, on the move again. Guzman, it is a base hit. And Livan is going to third. The Nationals tie the game on Christian Guzman's 18th RBI of the year.
A thing of beauty, Bobby, my man.
Fighting off the pitch.
Well, how often do you see a guy hit a frozen rope foul and then he gets jammed and it just gets over Cabrera's head? So he gets the 2-out ribby. Now we got runners on the corners and Niger Morgan.
A hot hitter.
Hot hitter, time to slap one out there. Slash and dash.
It'll be a lot of fun watching him run behind Guzman. Catch lead run 90 feet away with Livan Hernandez, and the Nats have now collected 4 hits against Aaron Harang already. And of course, they know a lot about Niger, having faced the Pirates many times in the NL Central. Morgan now hitting .262. So his batting average has jumped 20 points since Monday. That ball is scorched. It just missed the bag, and then it got Joe West. Base runners and umpires often set up on the foul side of the chalk, and that's why.
I don't know, though. If it goes over the bag and goes foul, it's still a fair ball. It didn't go over the bag, but it hits Joe West.
Can't have felt too good.
Get out of the way.
33-year veteran, crew chief Joe West. And the 0-2 now to Morgan. Remember, Harang had Desmond 0-2 with 1 out and the bases empty. Slow-moving ball game. We've reached 8 o'clock here in our nation's capital already. 1-1, Reds, Nats on MASN 2 HD with Debbie Taylor and Rob Dibble. Bob Carpenter. And as mentioned, shortly Debbie will have a further update on Pudge Rodriguez. Morgan taking that slow breaking ball, Rob, and just bumping it out of play. The base runners, Livan at third and Guzman at first. But Niger Morgan appears to be a different hitter than he was 1 week ago. Aaron Harang's getting close to 30 pitches in this inning. Niger waves at that one. He's gone. Nats tie the game on a Guzman hit. And after 2, long night for the pitchers so far. 1-1. Visit AFCEA.org, the Association for IT Pros. And here's Debbie with our AFCEA Sideline Report.
Well, Bob, I talked to Pudge Rodriguez today, and he told me he is feeling a lot better, but his back is still a little tight at times. He's been undergoing therapy and stretching to make it feel better. Now, he did resume baseball activities today. He swung the bat a little bit, threw a little bit. Now, tomorrow he will take live batting practice, and he told me that tomorrow is a big day. He said that Jim Riggleman would like him to go on a rehab stint, play 5 or 6 innings before he does come off the DL and plays for the team. Now, Mike Rizzo also said that he would like Pudge behind the plate Tuesday. Obviously a big day. In a perfect world, the team would love him to be catching Steven Strasburg's debut, but they also want the Hall of Fame catcher and their number 1 catcher back in the lineup, and they have to look at the big picture and a healthy Pudge Rodriguez.
It is a long season. I guess one thing that would help would be this warm weather that has arrived. That'll certainly help Pudge get loose and stay loose. Top of the 3rd, here's Brandon Phillips. Single, stole a base, stranded at 3rd his first time up. He's going to hit one hard. Desmond with a good pickup. That was difficult and handled very well by the young shortstop who had 3 errors in the same game just 2 days ago.
Yeah, but he's going to make a lot of errors. He's young, and he's going to try to do too much sometimes. But right here, this is just skill. It's a tough pick. Once he gets it, Phillips is dead at first.
That was a Zimmerman-like glove play.
Remember, I've told you, Robin Yount made 44 errors his first full year in the major leagues.
There's a ball in similar fashion, but easier in front of Guzman. Guzman actually had to double pump to make sure Adam Dunn could get to the bag and turn around. 2 quick outs. H.H. Gray wants you to know about the Nats on Masson 2 HD. Tomorrow night, Luis Adelano and rookie sensation Mike Leake, Craig Stammen, Bronson Arroyo on Sunday. Day off Monday, Steven Strasburg goes for the Nats Tuesday night against the Pittsburgh Pirates. In fact, all 5 of those games you see are the remaining ones on this homestand before the Nats step back into interleague play by visiting Cleveland and Detroit. Scott Rowland walked his first time up. Adds right in there, 1-2. Scott Rowland, Indiana kid, once recruited to play basketball at Oklahoma State and the University of Georgia. Out of Jasper, Indiana. "35 years of age, been in the big leagues for 12 years now."
And he's a huge guy. He reminds me of Mike Lowell. You'll watch him on TV and go, he looks about 6'2". You stand next to him, he's like 6'5".
They list him 6'4", 250.
He's bigger than that.
He is a large man.
He is a large man. Big for third base standards.
He'll bump one up the middle. He got jammed and he spun Levon around there.
And Levon doesn't need to try to knock that down.
Biggest moment in Scott Rowland's career was in St. Louis in 2004. In the League Championship Series, he hit a home run off Roger Clemens to put St. Louis into the World Series. Next up will be Jay Bruce. He bounced one to Desmond first time. So neither pitcher has been able to get out of an inning without a hit. Perfect. Outside corner.
And I like Bellino's zone tonight. Both of these pitchers need the corners.
Well, if he called this game tied, it'd be 10-9. And who knows what inning that would be. The hitter offered. Will Nieves asking for an appeal. So does Bellino, and Paul Schreiber says no.
Let's see. Just kind of faded away at the end. A little bit of a tail.
By the way, this G. Bruce, it was almost like a Bryce Harper type situation when he was in high school at Westbrook in Beaumont, Frank Robinson's hometown. They said that 30 scouts used to attend every game his senior year when he hit .538. Reds made him their first round pick, number 12 overall player, taken in '05. That's going to get him. Levon Paints up and in with the fastball. Left-handed hitter can't believe it. Reds have stranded forward. Here comes Zimmerman. Ryan is on a roll with the bat right now. Adam Dunn and Willingham to follow, but Zim is driving the ball again. Kids 12 and under receive a free kids batting helmet presented by our friends at Smithfield. And it'll be Craig Stammen against Bronson Arroyo in the series finale. And of course, those family fun pack tickets, always a tremendous value. And Ryan Zimmerman reaching for one. He bounced into a 5-4 fielder's choice first time out.
See that downhill racer, though? I mean, the downhill angle that Harang generates, he throws almost straight over the top, 6'7". He is not a power guy, but he creates such an angle with his arm.
Well, that's an easy 88 right there, and he's been up to 92 or so. Very effortless. Zimmerman, Dunn, Willingham, 3-4-5 here in the third. Big bad
Dunn
next. Thank you, Rob. Just had to do it.
What happened to the beard? I love the beard. You shaved the beard off.
On a breaking ball, Zimmerman punishes it up the middle.
Nice patience.
And Ryan Zimmerman is now 8 for his last 17. Boy, he is so streaky. Remember how hot he was going into the Colorado series, and then in the rain, and then on to St. Louis and back home, didn't get many base hits, and he's on a big-time roll here.
Well, he's patient. You saw that little double clutch, keeps the hands back and just put this up the middle. So that was just a nice job of keeping his hands back right there. Boom. And just putting it up the middle. If he tries to pull that, he puts it right to Cabrera at short.
Adam Dunn rocketing a double down the line first time up. He's now hitting over 340 in his last 25 games. But the odd thing about it,
not a lot of home runs.
The timing of Adams' hits haven't always been when men were in a position to score. Some solo homers. But if he stays hot and guys get on base, he could carry this ball club for an entire homestand.
You need table setters. You need some guys to pick it up at the bottom of the order. You know, it's just a bad road trip. So what? Turn the page. The Phillies still can't score a run.
Not much we can do about it now.
No,
There's the hammer.
It's over. You know, and to be 5.5 back or whatever, 6.5 back right there, not that bad of a place to be.
That ball eats up Cabrera, who was thinking about a double play for about a second and a half there. And then that ball hits in front of him, and Adam Dunn's 2 for 2.
That was probably the mistake that cost him maybe even catching the ball. He was thinking 2. Should have just tried to catch this. This is a tough, short hop job right here. Hit pretty hard. Not that hard, though. And right there, a short hop, and he's thinking, oh, if I could only have picked that, I would have had 2 outs. Now he's got nothing, and he would like it.
Here's Willingham, fly to center first time. 6 Nationals hits already. Josh goes up happy. This is the number 9 RBI man in the league.
And you got to be patient, just like with Devon. You know he can't blow you away. So you're not going up there going, okay, I got to get the bat started. He's throwing 95. You sit back, you wait. He'll probably throw you a slow changeup or curveball one time in the at-bat. But for the most, he's only going to throw you about 88, 89, 90-mile-an-hour fastballs. There's this off-speed stuff, but there's nothing our guys can't handle at the plate.
82 on that. Josh very good with runners in scoring position. 370 doesn't even get you into the top 10 in the National League right now.
Guess who caught him in walks in the National League?
That would be Mr. Pujols.
There you go. I wouldn't pitch to that guy anyway.
That one bounces about 5 or 6 feet out in front of Ramon Hernandez.
And Ramon's having a fun time back there stopping all those balls.
Well, it is Stanley Cup season.
Like a goalie, this is about 55 feet. Oh, right in the breadbasket. I should have switched to first base a couple years back. Continue though, Bob, you're right. Try to throw him away.
That's blown away, 2-2.
It'll be a while before he sees, other than a message pitch trying to just get him off the plate, a good fastball in the inner half. They've watched enough of him go out of the ballpark, so now it's nothing but slow and slower away.
2 on, nobody out, tie game. Bottom third, Willingham takes a fastball off the belt, 3-2. I was.
Yeah, he tried to change speed, but you saw Hernandez hop inside, hop outside. We love that when we see Pudge do that. That's because with a man on second, you know he's probably giving some kind of signal where location is at. A little bit of a bunny hop back there.
Willingham, 4 for 12 career against Harang.
Another changeup.
That ball was hanging up a bit, but Josh couldn't get any elevation on it.
Well, Hernandez isn't even trying to change up the signals. That time he just wiggled the fingers and he just said change up. Ramon sitting back there.
Three-two again. Fastball. Now it's another changeup. That thing had some late dip on it. It looked like a heater.
It might have been. Might have been a BP.
So he struck out yours truly and Willingham on that one. And that's Aaron Harang's 3rd K of the night.
Well, he basically was throwing a lot of off-speed junk, and I think it might have been another changeup. But this one was a little bit more over the top and had the downward angle on it. Very difficult, and they're just not going to give a lot of fastballs to Josh to hit.
Now, Rob, you've talked about that downhill racer thing and that angle. What does he do to create that, and why don't more pitchers do it?
First, he's 6'7", so he's on a 10-inch mound, so he's up real high, and he throws over the top, and a lot of guys don't throw over the top like him. So he's throwing from directly over the top, that's his deception. He's not going to throw it by you. So he's got to try to deceive you as much as he can and hold it behind him as long as he can. So the first time the hitter's going to see the ball, it's coming up over the top and coming from a big slope. Look at this, right over the top, and that's when you see the ball. Not a lot of moving parts. He's not like a Tyler Clippard, herky jerky.
Bernardina takes a change up, and it's 2-1. Roger pulled the ball to Joey Votto at first. And Roger Bernardina is 6 for his last 36. He made a strong bid for that right field job, but right now it's slipping.
I mean, Pat Burrell's out there right now. You've got Jermaine Dye's out there. We need some guys that can hit a little bit in the outfield position, especially in right field.
So did Pat Burrell sign with, it was the Giants or the Padres they were talking to? Which one?
You got to snatch some of those guys up.
I think it was the Giants that were looking for outfield help. And the Nats may be in that situation pretty quickly. Somebody has to embrace that job and just take it. And you just hope that Bernardina, after hitting those 2 home runs in New York, hasn't gone Corey Patterson on us and started thinking he was a home run hitter. Corey Patterson's doing a lot better for the Orioles this year because he's now back doing what he did several years ago, hitting line drives and putting the ball in play. 2-2 pitch. Bernardina with a flip to center. Coming home is Zimmerman, who read the ball perfectly. The Nationals lead 2-1, and that's what we're talking about from a right fielder. Roger Bernardina's 15th RBI.
Well, Bernardina's in a situation where he's going to come up a lot with runners in scoring position. He's got to make good, and right there he waits perfectly. Bad breaking ball, jams himself a little bit. That sucker gets right in there. You couldn't have thrown it in there any better. And like you said, Zim knew it was going to fall. He was already around third way before he could get thrown out. So some nice baseball, some heads-up stuff, Bob. Knowing what to do when the ball's hit, knowing what to do if the guy throws you a bad breaking ball.
And after way too many strikeouts in Houston, the Nats are putting the ball in play. Now Desmond scored a run back in the second after he singled, went to second on a wild pitch, and he was behind in the count 0-2 when Harang hung an off-speed pitch right up in his eyes.
Well, and Ian, just like Josh Willingham's got to start looking away first. Early in the count, they're trying to go away with him, try to drive the ball the other way, and if you do get it inside, they're going to be able to hit it. I truly believe both Willingham and Desmond are fast enough to hit the inside pitch.
Little tapper to the pitcher.
It's all right, he moved him up.
Second out of the inning. Dunn to third. Bernardina with his great speed, second base. Well, here's a very relevant email question. Ask about the Nats at MASNsports.com. From Scott Moffat in South Riding, Virginia. Should the commissioner award Armando Galarraga a perfect game?
No, absolutely not. You know, if you're going to change that just for a perfect game, you have to change every call around baseball that is messed up by an umpire. We don't have replay. I don't even think we should replay home runs. Just let's go back to everyday baseball, human error, and Jim Joyce is an excellent umpire. He just blew the call, so it shouldn't be rectified to give the guy.
I think it opens up
a whole
horrible can of worms.
Absolutely.
Well, and it was a judgment call by the umpire.
Yep.
So you cannot protest a game on a judgment call. You can only protest a game if an umpire doesn't go by a rule or a ground rule that should have been called. And that was a judgment call.
And they won the game. I mean, we couldn't protest the game on the brutal call by Gary Darling on Lance Berkman. And that's not the first time Gary Darling's made a bad call.
And then Bill Hahn, the appeal, and he blew it at third base after Darling did nothing at home. 1-1 to Will Nieves. So, when you're talking about judgment calls from umpires, if you're going to change that call, you might as well get rid of the umps and get the tennis Cyclops machine out there. 1-2.
It is what it is. I mean, even after the game, Galarraga said, listen, he blew the call. Jim Leland said he blew the call, but the Tigers have not asked for it to be reversed. I mean, they asked Galarraga, hey, would you like it to be reversed? He said, yeah. But as I said before, I think he'll be remembered for a long time for not getting the perfect game and getting the perfect game.
And, of course, the next day when they brought out the lineup cards, we saw the humanity of Jim Joyce. Got very emotional, teary-eyed as he had to look over those lineup cards. The Tigers as brought out by Galarraga. Livan Hernandez, if Will Nieves can continue this third inning. Nats lead 2-1. Inning over. Heartbreaking stuff. 4 strikeouts for Harang. Nats pick up a run and take the lead.
Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Celebrate the world we share.
Beautiful night here at the Anacostia Banks and Nationals Park. Our fans, 30,000 or so tonight, standing up, Rob, and saluting our troops at every ball game. I know nobody respects our fighting men and women more than you do.
No, and it's out of respect to all the wounded warriors that they get a standing ovation. They're recognized 81 times a year in the third inning. So it's a great thing that the Nationals have begun the last few years, and there you see the men and women wounded in action.
Top of the 4th inning, Johnny Gomes against Livan Hernandez. And be ready for this at bat, folks. This guy's trying to tie the game. He's not trying to bump a single through the right side of the infield. One of the best clutch hitters in the league this year, Johnny Gomes. Only Ryan Ludwig of St. Louis has a higher average with runners in scoring position. Livan teases him over below, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I also wanted to bring up a friend of mine, an Army Ranger buddy of mine, Eric Waters, was over in Afghanistan, and brought it to my attention that a corpsman, a Jonathan K. Henney, was killed in action the other day, 22 years old, from Marietta, Georgia.
Willingham can't get it, and that one will deaden at the wall. Gomes at second, and he'll be held right there.
Well, and he told me that, I did not know this, the Army Rangers escort Army Rangers all the way back to the States anytime one of them is killed. And so he was a 22-year-old Army Ranger. He was killed Tuesday in Afghanistan, trying to give medical aid to a fellow soldier. So to the Penny family, our hearts and prayers and thoughts and prayers go out to you. And once again, I mean, another young man lost his life defending this country. But, you know, with a lot of pride, the Army Rangers bring all their fallen hero buddies back. Eric also does a cool thing with a lot of sports teams. They get the wounded warriors out to sporting events all over every sport. They work with Models up in New York, and I'm sure you've met Eric and you've seen him around. So Eric Waters back over in Afghanistan now as an Army Ranger consultant, trying to rebuild some places over there.
Here's the center fielder, Drew Stubbs.
And by the way, the Reds team, a bunch of their players went over to Walter Reed today. So a lot of teams that come into town do some very generous things with their time and go over and visit the wounded warriors over at Walter Reed.
Levon throws one in there, 2 balls, 1 strike. Last year, the Nats and the Reds met 7 times. It was advantage road team. The Reds won 2 out of 3 here. The Nationals won 3 out of 4 in Cincinnati. First meeting of the year, first of 3 on this homestand. That's way outside. Olieva smothers it. 3-1. If I was a pitcher, I would tell my catcher, do not catch a ball in the dirt and then offer it to the umpire. Make him take it from you.
Exactly. Go ahead, explain why. The ball is scuffed.
Pitchers like balls that have marks on them because it makes them move more and they're tougher to hit.
If the ball has a cut or scuff on it, it will move against that scuff. Give it a lot more life and movement.
Heard a great story about George Steinbrenner watching his Yankees play on the road, and he called Lou Piniella in the dugout and said, why don't you go out there and show the umpire how that guy's scuffing the ball against us? He says, if I do that, I'll have to have our pitcher who taught him how to do that thrown out of the game too. I'll leave the names out of that story. But evidently the veteran Yankee pitcher who was pitching that night was the guy who had taught this young man how to do all of those things. Three balls and 2 strikes to Drew Stubbs, who singled, stole second, and scored on the Ramon Hernandez base hit back in the second.
This game's moving on, Bob, at a blistering pace.
Well, it's a big crowd. We want them to enjoy a full evening here at the ballpark.
What was the team? Was it Indiana that went to the four corner?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Oh,
Dean Smith.
He slowed down.
Oh, that was close.
Life.
Well, you know, Dean Smith was known as the only man in America who could hold Michael Jordan under 20. He was his coach.
Well, 3-2 pitch right here coming. He tries to do the swing back fastball 2-seamer. Just missed.
Now it's down to the number 8 man, Hernandez. You would doubt the Reds would be bunting here with the pitcher on deck.
Last time this guy got an RBI single on a hanging, slow 62-mile-an-hour curveball. So keep that in your memory bank. And remember that this guy, if he's hitting 8th, not only a decent hitter, but his bat might be a little bit slower. You might want to throw a little bit harder inside.
Nats lead by 1. Teams have combined for 12 hits already. Some offense in New York tonight. The Marlins and the Mets. That's a 3-2 game in the top of the 5th inning. Sanchez and Dickey pitching there tonight. And the Phillies got 2 in the 3rd and lead the Padres 2-1. Shane Victorino hitting his 9th home run.
It's that Latos kid pitching for the Padres.
Oh, he's good.
Yep.
There's a double play ball. Guzman to Desmond, who hangs in, and Adam Dunn picks it out. That was a tough 4-6-3 because Drew Stubbs, Rob, has very good speed, and he really went after Desmond.
Well, we already know that our Desmond likes to hang around second base. He'll take a hit if he has to. Nice feed by Christian. Ian stays in there, and then a beautiful pick by Adam Dunn at first base. So this is just a nice 4-6-3. Very nice pick by Big Bad Dunn.
Nationals turn their 53rd double play of the year. Runner at third, 2 outs for the pitcher Aaron Harang, who bunted a sacrifice first time up, and that's a strike. Breaking ball, unreachable.
By the way, I talked with Jerry Krasnick, a very good reporter for ESPN.com, and he has seen Bryce Harper a couple of times with the aluminum bat and with the wood bat, and he said he's one of the most special 17-year-old hitters he's ever seen.
Good to hear.
Yep.
And this inning is over. Levon has 8 ground ball outs, 3 strikeouts, and the Nats still lead the Reds. Every night, why can he not figure out that he's got to lay back a little bit? It's horrible. He's the first half leader every time out. They don't seem to mind. There's our game summary after 3.5. Ian Desmond's base hit opened up a Nats run opportunity in the second. Roger Bernardina had the RBI in the third, so some rookies are contributing, and Christian Guzman has knocked one in.
And this is just a great job by the bottom of the order. Bernardina, Desmond, and then you get it back to the top of the order with Christian. A huge 2-out single right there. And it brings in our first run, and then Zim. He starts it off, gets a nice little single going. And Bernardina gets a nice little single job in there. And Zim comes around to score after an out-of-done walk. That's manufacturing some runs in the bottom of the order chipping.
Two 2-0 to Levon, who walked his first time up, and for some reason Aaron Harang keeps pitching around him.
Just giving a note, Teddy wears chaps because he rides a horse. Maybe that's what slows him down. He's wearing chaps.
Well, he needs a horse. I mean. Yeah. He can't run. We know that.
Bowling.
Will he win Tuesday night? Levon bounces one perfectly up the middle. And the Nationals have 8 base hits out of 18 plate appearances against Aaron Harang, plus a walk.
Well, he's a strike thrower. He's around the dish. That's just a fastball to get it over the plate, and Levon just smacks it back up the middle. Look at that. We do have maybe one of the hardest surfaces around home plate I've ever seen.
Rob, that's 199 hits for Levon Hernandez.
Closing it on 2-0.
He's about to become a 200-100 man with 200 hits and 100 sacrifices. He has 104 of those.
I thought that was 200 hits, 100 donuts.
Well, he would buy 100 donuts a long time. But the slimmer, trimmer, more athletic Levon Hernandez is having a fun year now. Top of the order, Guzman, 1 for 2 with an RBI hit.
It's back to Matt Stairs, the slim and trim Nutrisystem Matt Stairs.
He lost 30 pounds.
30 pounds. Well, you know why he did that? Because Charlie Manuel lost 50 pounds. And he had so much respect for his former skipper in Philly. He said, "You got that number to Nutrisystem, Skip?"
Guzman unstoppable here at home. And he hangs tough on an 0-2. Christian hitting around 290 left-handed. Let's see here. At the beginning of May, Christian Guzman from the left side of the plate was hitting 200. So he's been hot from the right side all year. A remarkable month of May when he hit over 380. And a lot of that from this side of the plate. Big gap in right center, a lot of room down the right field line. That's outside, ball 2.
He said it 2 months ago at the beginning of the season. As long as he hits, he'll find the lineup every night. Might be at second, might be at short, right. Keeps hitting, he's going to be in the lineup every night.
Orang nibbling 3-2, and he has thrown over 90 pitches and has retired 9 men.
Doing a lot of dancing around the strike zone.
3-2 with Levon at first, and Guzman hacks one to the right side. That'll be a force play. It'll be 4-6. One on, one out. Sunday, the Nats, in partnership with the Baseball Tomorrow Fund, are collecting new and gently used baseball and softball equipment. Gloves, balls, bats, helmets. You can drop off the equipment when you come to the ball game outside the center field gates. The equipment drive benefits Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission, Prince George's County Department of Parks and Recreation. In other words, a lot of kids who really need the gear. So when you come to the ball game on Sunday, please be generous with your new and gently used baseball equipment and softball.
Can they use old? It's kind of old new equipment. I got some new spikes and stuff that are about 20 years old.
It says gently used.
They've never been used.
Okay, bring them. One ball and one strike to Niger Morgan, who's pulled a base hit to right. One struck out. Dangerous hitter on deck. Runner going. Bouncer to the shortstop. And Cabrera throws out Morgan, but the Nats are putting runners in motion at the top of the lineup tonight. AT&T Trivia. Rob Dibble had 4 days of trivia off. Who's hit the most home runs as a shortstop in Nats Expos history? Is it Orlando Cabrera?
I'm just trying to think of shortstop.
Well, he had 14 homers in 01, 17 in 03. Before being traded off to the Red Sox for that Nomar deal. It might be Orlando Cabrera. Or maybe we've been tricked.
Duped. I like duped. Because I think they suck us in one way and then somebody else. By the way, former second baseman Delino DeShields from the Expos is a Reds minor league manager out in Billings.
A lot of former Reds players are now involved in their organization as coaches and managers. The 0-1 to Zimmerman. Will Harang give him anything to hit here? You know, you would think not, but the guy behind him has scorched the right-hander twice. Former teammate Adam Dunn.
Yeah.
1 to Zim.
Nice wrestling match between Harang and Dunn.
Ryan Zimmerman to the gap in left center, but it's going to hang up. And it's caught by Drew Stubbs. Ryan didn't get all of that one. That's another hit. They've stranded 7 in a 2-1 game. For a cool one. Friday night, lots of good things going on here at the ballpark all weekend long. Equipment drives and all that sort of thing. And the fans out there in the red porch and the red loft having a big Friday night time here at Nationals Park. Top of the 5th inning. Orlando Cabrera leads off for the Reds against Levon, who has stopped them 1 run on 5 hits through 4. He's thrown 70 pitches, 8 ground ball outs. And Cabrera's 0 for 2, pulling 2 ground balls, one of them a great play by Zimmerman. Orlando Cabrera is from Cartagena, Colombia. And the Reds signed him as a free agent February 1st with a mutual option for next year. He's been in 5 division series, a couple of LCS, and played for the Red Sox in the World Series when he hit .235 with 3 RBIs. And he's aboard for the first time tonight. Is he the leading home run hitting Montreal Expos shortstop?
UL Washington. No, he played the Kings.
Pretty sure it wasn't Brendan Harris. 65 for Orlando Cabrera. Well, shortstop's not a power position. Brandon Phillips is 1 for 2. Phillips a base hit up the middle in the first, ground ball to short in the third on a 1-hopper and that's a balk by Levon Hernandez, called by the rookie umpire Dan Bellino.
Wow.
Where did that come from?
I don't know, but this guy's got over 420 starts in the major leagues. And you get a guy that's calling one of his first major league games from behind home plate, calling him for a balk.
Levon Hernandez has been pitching since 1996 in the big leagues, and that's his 13th balk. Was it that little movement of the head?
He said it was the leg. He's saying that he moved the front leg. That looked like he moved both of them at the same time.
Sure did.
I played with Jose Rijo, who had one of the best balk moves I've ever seen, where he would lift the front leg and throw to first base.
Well, Jim Riggleman has to come out and find out what in the heck that was all about.
I still don't see it. I think this is just, maybe somebody even said, hey, watch this guy. He may lift the front leg and throw to first.
Well, that puts a runner at second and nobody out, changing this inning.
See this in slow motion right here. Watch that front leg.
Straight to first base, it appears.
He looked like he bent it first, though, before he jumped off. And you're not allowed to make a movement. They basically call it deceiving the runner. But watch the front knee. The front knee is going to bend before he steps out of the rubber. Watch this, right there. And you can't do that.
That's in slow motion.
And that's in slow motion.
How do you see that in regular speed?
I think you're looking for it. Like I said, you know, if you're warned before the game, or somebody mentions, hey, you know, this guy has a balk move, and that's what they would look for in Jose Rijo, that he would move that front leg, bend the knee, and the first movement to a base runner, he thinks you're going home, especially a right-hander, and then you throw over first, you get the guy dead to rights at first.
Brandon Phillips takes one that just misses on the corner.
I think this is a little bit outside. It's not over the plate. But you're not going to get calls either if Will Nieves just keeps holding the glove there. That's also a little bit of showing up to them. You just catch it. You just call it. You don't leave the glove sit.
Yeah, framing doesn't take place after the pitch. And there's a swing and a foul back to the screen, 1-2. Nats have out hit the Reds 8-6 and lead 2-1 here in the fifth. It's a 1-2 count to Brandon Phillips with Joey Votto on deck. A lot of dangerous hitters. 1 through 6 in the Cincinnati lineup. There's another one, Joey Votto, who's hit 11 homers and driven in 34. Came in batting .320. Well, Phillips was leaning. Levon almost took the left sleeve off of his jersey.
Well, Orlando Cabrera shot the gap between second base and first base in that last at bat, and so that's a great way, even 86 miles an hour, stand a guy up, put him on his heels, and say, listen, you're not going to dive over the plate and get my breaking stuff. That's away.
Off-speed base hit. Cabrera rounding third. He will be sent. Bernardino throws into second, and the balk helps the Reds tie the game.
That was some smart baseball by Brandon Phillips right there. He knew, okay, you're standing me up. You're probably going to go something soft away. He sat back, got the pitch soft and away. And he just smacks it. Actually fell back inside, but he smacks it over to right. That was his whole purpose. Moved the runner. Moved him a little bit more than just moved him to third. Well, Joe West called a couple of balks on Mark Burley and then threw him out of the ball game. So this is definitely a balking crew.
Well, he's at first base. Angel Hernandez at second. He likes to get himself involved.
Well, and he called somebody out in the Toronto series against the Rays. I think it was Rodriguez, I want to say, or Hernandez from the Rays, for not touching third base. And the replay clearly showed he stepped right in the middle of the bag. I mean, these guys are just, they're trying to become too much of the ball game. And the one thing that Joe Madden, when he mouthed out to Joe West, he said, it's your fault that Angel Hernandez made that call.
Pretty good changeup by Levon. He had Joey Votto out in front. 15 hits in the game. Each team is waiting for that one big swing with somebody on base. So far, it's been a rather singular event. The Nats have a double from Dunn. The Reds have a double from Gomes, but neither involved in a run. That's a strike on the inside corner. And Joey Votto doesn't like the call.
Well, there's nothing better than getting inside the heads of the opponent hitters. And this is a good two-seam fastball. And Votto's like, no, that was too far inside. So the young rookie umpire is calling the corners. So now you know he's calling the corners. You got to adjust accordingly.
Then he gets him away in a foul tip, but it's out of the glove of Will Nieves.
I talked with former national Dimitri Young the other day on my radio show, and I asked him about that. I said, you know, because it was directly about the strike zone in Houston with the Nationals and the Astros. And he said, listen, as a hitter, you have to know the umpire and adjust. If he's got a bad strike zone that night, you can't sit there and complain. You got to sometimes expand your zone and go get those pitches. You can't let the umpire dictate what you do during the game. He may frustrate you. He may not call the calls the way you want him to do, but you know what? You're trying to win a baseball game. You can't let him get in your head.
1-2. Short lead by the runner Phillips. Well, he called the ball on the inside corner or near the corner, so pretty tough for Dan Bellino or any umpire to give the pitcher both sides of home plate.
Well, and so what Levon's doing is you go away as far as possible and you see if you can get that call. If you don't, you slowly, inch by inch, bring it back towards the plate. Doesn't mean you have to throw the next one down the middle.
That ball hit sharply. Should be two. Guzman Desmond. They do it again. It's another 4-6-3. And Livan Hernandez continues to rack up the ground ball outs. That's now 10 of them tonight.
Very nice off-speed pitch right here. Votto doesn't hit it with any authority. It's off the end of the bat. So 4-6-3, nice flip. Looks like Adam Kennedy has taught Christian Guzman the shovel pass or the option play. There you see it, the backhand. Desmond with the rifle, so Votto can run all the way back to the dugout complaining about the strike zone.
Here's Rolen, a walk and a base hit for Scott. And he'll pop it up right side on the first pitch. Guzman out, Bernardina in, and that's it for the Reds in the fifth. They get a run thanks to a balk, and it's a 2-2 tie. Dogs just waiting to be consumed. By the way, the Reds are into their bullpen. A Cabot Woodstein legendary performance in the offing here. And it was 1 year ago when Randy Johnson won his 300th career game here at Nationals Park. 24th pitcher to ever do that. It was a rainy evening that featured a split doubleheader. Yeah, there were some Giants fans here.
The unit still had it working, throwing some hard fastballs and sliders. Got some calls late in the ball game that we didn't agree with, Bob, but he got number 300 nonetheless.
That was true. And here's right-hander Micah Owings, 15th appearance to take over for the Reds. So in one way, it was a long night for Aaron Harang. In another way, it was a very short night. He pitched 4 innings, but threw 98 pitches, 2 runs on 8 hits, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. And the Nationals continue to be one of those ball clubs that work the count and in some cases just wear out opposing pitchers.
Well, and Livan through 5 is at 84, so his total's getting up there. But I think also Harang, a little bit older guy, 32 years old, thrown a lot of pitches over the last 5 years. I think Dusty Baker said, listen, you know what? It's hot, it's humid, it's muggy. That was 100 pitches in 4 innings. That's an awful lot of work for you.
And this is a team fighting for a division championship. They have to constantly keep the big picture of their season in mind. Starting tonight, tied with St. Louis in the Central.
Owings has been a starter in his career. One thing that bothers me, if he goes a little bit and gets up there at the plate, Owings can hit as well as anybody in their lineup.
St. Louis hosting Milwaukee tonight, leading 1-0 in the 3rd inning behind Adam Wainwright. So the Reds throw some offense at you. The Cardinals throw that pitching at you. And it's an interesting combination of contending clubs in the Central. The thing they share in common, well, Jocketty, the GM at St. Louis for almost 15 years, and now he's getting it done in Cincinnati. Adam Dunn down the line, but it's hooking. He's getting closer and closer to his 11th home run, Rob, it seems, with every swing. He is really scorching the ball.
Yeah, he's seeing the ball well right now. He's comfortable. It's warm. He's left April in a serious rear-view mirror. Had a very nice May, but I'd love to see him get about 10 home runs this June. Driving about 4.
Micah Owings was originally drafted by Mike Rizzo out in Arizona. That's a fastball up that blows away Adam Dunn. Josh Willingham had a big game in Houston yesterday. A couple of hits, an RBI, and flashing some arm in the first inning.
Ball hit to him. Nice form. One hop. Nice block at the plate right there by Maldonado. And then Josh, a little bit later, gets jammed up the middle, and he drives in a run. So basically a Josh Willingham type night, contributing all over the field.
And the Hammer 0 for 2 tonight with a fly ball to center and a strikeout. Half swing. Did he tip it? He did.
I can definitely see Josh at 50 RBI by the All-Star break, which puts him on pace for over 100. He's having that kind of season. He's comfortable. He knows he's going to play every day.
Drove in 61 for the Nats last year, but only played 133 games. Sore back at the beginning of the year. Bereavement list in June when he lost his younger brother John. Josh drove in 89 runs for the Marlins in 07. He hit 21 home runs. Tried to pull that outside breaking ball. Slow roller to Cabrera. Close play. 2 outs. 9 o'clock in Washington, D.C. on this Friday night. Well, we always say welcome home. Nats are glad to be back home after a rough road trip. The Reds are here. 2-2 game in the 5th. Bob Carpenter, Rob Dibble, Debbie Taylor, Masson 2HD. And for those of you who may think that coming back to work with me for one game was too much for Rob, you do have a reason why you will not be here tomorrow.
Yeah, it's not just because I don't like you and the crew, because I love you guys. It's my son. He's graduating high school, so it's one of those moments where I don't want to miss it because I want to make sure he actually gets a diploma. No, I'm kidding. But my son's going to college, going to Norwich University. He's going ROTC. He's going in the officers training class, so good luck to him.
And congratulations.
I didn't do it.
Dads do a lot.
He's a good kid.
That's in there to Bernardino. 2 balls and a strike.
And my son, like Bryce Harper, during lacrosse season, and he was the goalie. He was the most valuable player for the second year on his team. Smears his eye black all over his face. So that's it. My son's 18.
Gee, where did he
17.
get that?
I mean, you know, he's rebellious. So, I mean, when people talk about Bryce Harper and he drew the line in the sand, he got kicked. Kid's 17. Cut the kid a little slack.
We saw the video today.
Yeah, I mean, it was so overblown, not even funny. Somebody told me, oh, he drew around the plate, and he wasn't drawing a picture. He just drew his bat in the sand. I've seen dozens of big leaguers get kicked out of games for stuff like that.
3-2 to Bernardino. Comfortable here. And other than the game at New York, struggling on the road, he'll take the 2-out walk. And still, no pitcher has a 1-2-3 inning to it. It'll be Ian Desmond with 2 outs and a runner at first. Desmond 1 for 2. Batting average at 266.
I don't know if you saw that Austin Jackson catch for the 25th out in a perfect game. Oh, yeah, almost perfect game. That Austin Jackson can play some center field and play some baseball. Pretty sure right now he leads the Tigers in hits. I mean, that kid is just special.
Hitting .341 going into the weekend. He's, would you say, the odds-on favorite for Rookie of the Year over there?
Yeah, and he made another over-the-shoulder catch last night, almost identical. I mean, it's I like it. Even if he doesn't pitch, he sits his butt off all the time. You know, he's always, and I played with Eric Davis, who was one of those special center fielders that you knew, I just made a mistake. It's laced 400 feet away from home plate, but you still have a shot in center field.
Did you know that Eric Davis is one of the special assistants to Walt Jocketty this year?
I did. He is a rover. He goes around and he helps guys outfield hitting.
Mario Soto enjoys that title.
I'll tell you, he should be teaching guys that changeup in the system. Mario Soto, watching him when I was a young pitcher, greatest changeup I've ever seen. I mean, Trevor Hoffman kind of changeup with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. They have a ton of my former teammates that are over there as instructors and coaches. Billy Hatcher's over there. We've got Billy Dorns down in the minor leagues. Freddie Benavides is down in the minor league. I mean, they've got a lot of good guys. That's what you need. Great teachers at the lower levels.
0-2 to Desmond.
Like I said, Delino DeShields is down there in rookie ball with the Billings, Montana team. Did Delino play here, or was he just a nice guy? So Delino spent some time in a Nationals uniform.
Bop, they called it. 0-2 to Desmond, target away. And then they bust him inside. So either Owings had Hernandez sitting out there and missed his spot, or there was some deception involved. Because one of the great no-nos in all of baseball is peeking back to see where the catcher is. And not that Ian does that, but if a young player tried to do that, you would buzz him inside off the plate, especially 0-2. And Desmond had to be swinging. That was close enough. Brandon Phillips throws him out. The Nats are gone in the fifth. They've stranded 8 base runners. It's a 2-2 game. When the Nats take the lead. Here's the Home Depot doing more on defense.
Nats defense keeping us in the ball game right there. Great play, barehanded by Zimmerman. Yes! And picking it at shortstop, Ian Desmond. And then right here, a nice 4.63. Picking it at the end by Dunn. Another hot shot, 4.63. No, did not adjust for TV. That was the second double play of the night.
But now I think from that first double play replay, you can see why your shortstop has to be a great athlete.
Oh, yeah. Or he can lose a limb over there at second base. Not want to hang out there. And you're going to sometimes have that area play like that one. He got the 2 errors on the same play. He's got to get out of the way. And he'll learn that you got to at least tap the base with that toe before you throw it to first.
Yeah, he missed it by at least a foot on that critical play in Houston the other night.
You know,
And then in his haste, he threw the ball away.
Yeah, area 51. You got to be in the same area code when you're touching the base or almost near the base.
Jay Bruce for the Reds leading off the 6th. Levon goes soft on him on 2-0, and Jay Bruce geared up for a heater way out ahead.
This is a kid that has a lot of problems with the off-speed stuff. You would be out of your mind to try to throw this guy a fastball in the inner half.
It was a backdoor slider, it appeared. The count's 2-2. Here's the Cincinnati box score. RBIs from Brandon Phillips, who's 2 for 3. And then down at the number 8 spot, Ramon Hernandez, that little flare back in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, but right there, that's what you look at. The 1 for 7 in the meat of the order. That's a good job by Levon.
He has Jay Bruce reaching. Now the Mets have turned the table on the Marlins, picking up 2 in the 6th at Citi Field. New York 4, Florida 3. Levon close, but missing the inside corner. Phillies have added a run. In fact, they've traded runs with San Diego. 3-2 Phils up at Citizens Bank Park, bottom of the 6th now. 3-2. Nats thought it was a strikeout, and the Reds get the walk. Will Nieves was ready to throw the ball down to third base. And Levon Hernandez walks his 2nd man of the night.
Well, let's see the location right here. 3-2 pitch. Wow.
A little bit high.
A little bit high, but there was a time in the history of this game that was a strike.
For about 100 years.
Yeah. It's about the size of a postage stamp.
Johnny Gomes is the hitter. Fly ball to right, double to left. Gomes was an 18th rounder for the Rays back in 01. There's Tyler Walker. We always find you if you come to the ballpark and catch a foul ball.
That guy's really red. I want to get a cold drink or something.
A lot of red in the ballpark tonight. Red porch, red loft, red legs, which is really the name of the Cincinnati Reds.
My partner on radio in the mornings is from Chicago. Does pre and post for the Blackhawks and the Cubs. He's like, if I ever went to a Nats game, all I would do is sit in the red porch and watch.
Sure he would. We'll take his money.
It looks quite inviting on TV. I wish we could go out there.
That ball into left and hanging up for Willingham. And I bet you Josh would tell you he was battling the lights there just a bit. H.H. Gregg brings you again the next 5. And, of course, Tuesday night is the one we're all looking forward to. But every game is important. But a special note, on Tuesday, Nats Extra, a 1-hour affair starting at 6 p.m. prior to Steven Strasburg's Major League debut.
And then the Strasburg era begins.
If you'd like to read my thoughts on that, go to massinsports.com. We have blogs we write. And I had a little insomnia last night, Rob, and about 2 in the morning submitted mine for this week. I find that I think very clearly at 2 in the morning because the phone's not ringing and there's nothing else going on, but I tie it into a previous experience of mine with a sideshow we had in another major league city about 12 years ago. And check out all the announcer blogs at massinsports.com.
Oh, with Mark McGuire.
Well, there were people who came to the game that didn't care whether the home team won or not. They just wanted to see a home run.
By the way, did Big Mac have triplets? Did his wife give birth?
They did. Yeah, I think it was either yesterday or the day before.
So you call those Little Macs? Is that like a Happy Meal? Big Mac.
Oh, that's a happy household. I think they have 5 now. Drew Stubbs, 1 on and 1 out, and a 1-2 cut from Levon Hernandez. Runner goes. Pitch outside. That throws right where it needs to be. And Will Nieves put it perfectly down to Ian Desmond.
Jay Bruce gets a decent jump right here. You see a good pitch up in the zone. Will, nice transition, quick feet.
Perfect.
And out by 4 steps, and that's exactly what you want to be doing if you're a catcher. Chest high throw right to the bag.
Yeah, guys get a throw like that plenty of time. They're happy to slap down the tag.
Oh, and we know Ian likes to slap tags down.
You know, he and Dunn tag runners just about as hard as anybody I've seen. Dunn gave somebody a face tag in Houston.
No problem with that. Will Clark, one of my favorite opponents and first baseman ever, would smack you so hard you can hear it in the dugout.
That's a breaking ball that hung up and in, and Levon's walked 2 in the inning. He's been helped by 2 double plays and a caught stealing tonight. And ironically, it took an umpire for the Reds to get a run off him last inning when rookie ump Dan Bellino behind the plate called him for a balk. So far so good with the starter tonight, who's about to go at least 6. Levon is due to bat second, and there is activity in the Nationals bullpen.
Tyler Walker's down there flipping it up there.
He's been up most of this inning.
It's now 8-0 in Baltimore against the Red Sox in the 6th inning.
That is the Red Sox with 8.
I hope they turn it around. Some good guys in Baltimore. Ooh, look at it.
Check swing off the Gatorade tub in the Nats dugout. And it's 0-1. Ramon Hernandez, the ex-Oriole, the hitter, with a bloop single in 2 trips. Cincinnati scoreboard watching. St. Louis has scored again, 2-0 over Milwaukee, top of the 4th. The Reds and the Cardinals identical 31-23 records. Nobody else in the Central close right now. Cubs are 6.5 back, and they're trailing 1-0 in the 4th at Houston. Good luck in that place.
Zambrano started for them tonight. What was that score?
1-0. Good ball game. And he's facing Paulino, who pitched so well for the Astros at Cincinnati on Sunday. He got them the final game of that series. To me, like pretty much the same knee bend.
Yeah.
I don't know what Dan Bellino saw back in the 5th inning that's not going on now. Fastball up. So Levon's been pitching. This is his 15th year, and that was his 13th balk.
Wow. You even have a stat for balks? Come on. How many? I wonder if they have like an umpire's book where they got how many Bob Davidsons called.
1,212.
Can you imagine your nickname's Balkin' Bob Davidson? Come on. I think you'd want to tighten that rep up and say, all right, I'm not going to call balks for the next 10 years. And you don't want to pitch around this guy.
Angel Hernandez has called his share. In one game a couple of years ago, he called 2 on Odalis Perez, a left-handed pitcher for the Nats, who got tossed after the second one. Joe West will have the plate tomorrow, and Angel will have the plate on Sunday. Two-two pitch. And into center. Niger has to play it on a hop. That'll get the Reds down to the pitcher's spot here.
And he can hit. Lifetime 291 average, 9 homers, 33 RBI. Last year he had 3 homers. This year he already has a homer and a couple of driven in. He's slugging. He's slugging 444 this year.
Career 4 homers and 15 RBIs for the Diamondbacks in 07.
Oh, yeah.
As Rob said, 3 more last year.
Career 542 slugging percentage for this young man. So, who's that guy who played with the Brooks Kieschnick. Couldn't decide if he wanted to hit or pitch.
He won the Silver Slugger for pitchers in 07 as a rookie. Actually hit 2 homers in a game that year.
Mistake for this game.
A breaking ball by Levon. Counts 1-1. Tie game, top of the 6th. Big crowd on hand tonight. And to be honest with you, many bought tickets weeks ago thinking and hoping that Steven Strasburg would be pitching tonight. And we're glad it appears most of them have used the tickets and come to the ballgame. Great crowd. Up and in, they go ooh on that one by Levon Hernandez to the opposing pitcher. That could be interesting. Levon's due up second if he bats in the 6th. Beautiful Nationals Park on a Friday night here in early June. First of 6 on this homestand. Nats will be home a lot in July. That'll make up for some of the crazy travel lately. That's a strike. Whistling to the outside corner. 2-2.
Well, if he gets one right here, this pitch way outside. Take that.
Mets, Padres, Giants, Braves, Phillies here in July around the All-Star break.
On the slow curve. There's no way. If he hits the slow curve, he's hitting that.
Fastball away. Bernardino's got to go a ways. He's got it. Near the line. Almost identical to the play he made in Houston. And the Reds will strand a couple as the Greyhound grabs one down the right field line. 5.5. Micah Owings just now coming out to start his warm-up tosses after hitting there. Roger Bernardina saves the day. You can still get the New Era Flex plan. Now, New Era is the company that makes the official ball caps the guys wear on the field. So, for a limited time, pick any 3 games and get a 4th game free, plus a free New Era Nats cap while supplies last. Don't miss out on history this summer. The best way to get your tickets to Strasburg's debut still available. Visit nationals.com/New Era or call 202-675-6287. Maximum 4 tickets per purchase. Nationals box score. Does anybody have 2 hits? Adam Dunn does. Livan Hernandez, by the way, could be done. He's thrown 111 pitches in 6 innings.
It's hot. Well, got to watch out for Owings. Made a little mistake away, but great defense takes away mistakes. And right there, the ball that could have been a double and a couple of ribbies. That could have been a game saver right there by Roger Bernardina.
It's just beautiful watching guys like him run the bases and run the outfield. Will Nieves leads off. Livan does come out on deck. Could be a decoy. We'll see. It's possible if Nieves gets on, Hernandez stays to bunt. If Will makes an out, they might hit for him.
I see a big, tall, lanky fellow like Tyler Tippert warming up.
Interesting when we covered the bases with Tyler in Houston yesterday. Found out about his big brother, who's been a great influence on him. He was a multi-sport guy. Nieves hits it hard, but right at Scott Rowland. Watch this guy throw. Everything's pretty much a fastball over to first base. He doesn't believe in sidearm throws. And now with Nieves making it out, Livan Hernandez is done for the night, and Adam Kennedy will hit for him. So Hernandez will give up 8 hits, 2 runs in a 6-inning quality start. And we don't have any problem with that term on a night like this.
No, and that was quality. That is the toughest offensive lineup right now in the National League. And he held them to 2 runs. So nicely done.
Adam Kennedy, as a pinch hitter, 2 for 7 with an RBI.
The Reds are getting their bullpen going in a hurry.
And they've already received an inning and a third from Micah Owings in relief of Aaron Harang, who went 4. So a base hit to right field for Adam Kennedy, his 3rd pinch hit of the year. He's also a good base runner. Guzman and Morgan, the next 2 hitters. From Nationals Park, our copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Daniel Ray Herrera.
5'6" lefty with a great changeup.
Yeah, he's really a guy who's better against right-handers. Guzman just missing the base, Joe West, and the chalk line. Guzman 1 for 3 with an RBI hit to left center.
Looked up. Take the bunt. Try to throw Owings off a little bit.
The Cubs just got a run in the 5th to tie that game in Houston with Zambrano pitching. Niger Morgan is next. 1 for 3 with a single in the 1st. Target away on 0-2. Instead, Owings steps off. Reds pitching staff 2 clicks below the Nats in the league rankings. 4.60 ERA as a staff, number 13 National League. And they score a lot of runs to make up for that. Guzman reaching on 0-2. And the shortstop Cabrera makes the call. 2 down. A lot of gold gloves between those two. 9 of them between Roland and Cabrera. And it'll be Nigel Morgan. Right-hander Enerio del Rosario joining Daniel Ray Herrera. Here's Nigel Morgan trying to extend this inning. Kennedy on what appeared to be a delayed steal. He paused, then took off, and after about 3 steps came back. The Nats have used the delayed steal successfully a couple of times this year with Kennedy and Nigel Morgan.
It was false steal where you just try to get everybody in the infield to go, he's going! And he kind of throws the pitcher off. Once in the lead. Some mind games right now also with Ramon Hernandez. Not a great throwing catcher, so any way you can maybe get this guy to stand up or do something to throw the pitcher off. You can try to get the pitcher to throw more fastballs in this situation.
Another step off. The Nats running game on the mind of Micah Owings.
And in the dugout. The dugout's making you step off. The dugout wants to see if he's going to get more, try to break anything that they can see, and they might even possibly pitch out right here.
Dusty Baker, great hitter in his time. Can he get done in Cincinnati what he couldn't get done in Chicago? And he was 4 games under 500 for the Cubs in 4 years. Did win the Central in 03. But of course the famous incident with Bartman and losing to the Marlins. Finished 3rd, 4th, and 6th there. Dusty hit over 240 homers and had over 1,000 RBIs with the Braves, Dodgers, Giants, Oakland, a 6-time All-Star. Niger looks at ball 2 on a pitch very close after he showed bunt for an instant.
And Dusty on deck when Hank Aaron hit that 715th home run of his career to pass Babe Ruth, and that pitch is a little bit low. So Dusty got a front row seat to Hank Aaron making history.
Reds have been through some managers lately. Jerry Narron for 3 years. Pete Buchanan took over for a little while. And he bridged the gap to Dusty, now in his 17th year. Cincinnati Reds enjoying their success. They have been under 500 for 9 consecutive years. 8 over coming into this game. In the East, the Braves are 10 over. Now it's 3-0 on Morgan against a distracted pitcher.
Wow.
Who's going to walk a hitter with no power to face Ryan Zimmerman. One of our pet peeves, Rob, when it's one of the Nationals guys out there. And the pitching coach, Brian Price, on his way. Let's talk about our Radio Shack What'd You Know? From the Shack. Andre Dawson selected 10th round of the 1975 Major League Draft. The Hawk, one of the all-time greats. And finally going into the Hall of Fame, Rob, deservedly so. And with some healthier knees, he might have been right up there with the greatest ever.
Yeah, and I played with him his last year in Florida with the Marlins. And I was injured that whole year, and I got a front row seat to a guy that loved to play the game in his 40s. Knees were totally banged up, would limp around and jog around that clubhouse, Bob, every night just for that pinch hitting appearance.
That rock-hard AstroTurf surface at Olympic Stadium in Montreal didn't do him any favors.
That guy went to Chicago as a free agent and said, you fill in the dollar amount you want me to play for. And then he went out and won the MVP award on a last-place team.
Yeah.
So you talk about a man. Andre Dawson, man.
2 Cubs have done that, by the way. Ernie Banks did it. And Ryan Zimmerman now 1 for 3 in a tie game. Obviously, a possible game-changing situation here in the 6th inning because of a pinch hit in the pitcher spot and then a walk to Nyjer Morgan. And Owings throws it by him. Counts even 1-1.
He had a cut. The big swing right here from the big Zim.
Hitters love that ball up there, but they can't get their hands to it. Kennedy, a good base runner. Morgan, really fast right behind him. And with Votto playing off the line, Nyjer can get a 20-foot, 30-foot leadoff here.
Owings coming right after Zim right here. Good heaters. Right about where his number is.
One and 2 now. Man, that was up and in and didn't miss by much. That's quite a 1-2 pitch.
That looked like a cutter that didn't really cut. Watch this. Just stays up. Wow.
And of course, Hernandez trying to frame it. That's a great look at our pitch track. You saw the pitch, the miss, and then the frame. Well, that's good. Now the runners can be moving. Outfield playing Zimmerman deep and straight away. Adam Dunn's had a good night, 2 for 3, but Owings struck him out first time they met. They were actually teammates in Arizona for a short time when Adam was out there. 3-2 pitch. Way inside, the bases are loaded for Adam Dunn.
I think Dusty's going to go get him and bring him away.
And Ryan Zimmerman walks for the 10th time in the last 5 games. An inning and 2/3 for Owings, who gives up only 1 hit, but he walks 3 Nationals. He had a strikeout, and big Adam Dunn right after the break. Mike Leake 4-0, 2.45 ERA. He's only 22, and he's on the fast track. Never played in the minors. Luis Adelano has won his last 2 starts. He's been good on the road. How good can he be at home? He's 5-1 with a 4.70. We'll start you at 6:30. Nats Extra presented by your Washington Ford dealers. And then don't forget H.H. Gregg with the featured young pitching matchup tomorrow night. Daniel Ray Herrera, only 25 years of age, came over in the Josh Hamilton deal with Edinson Volquez from Texas in December of 07. He was busy for the Reds last year, 70 games, 4 wins, 4 losses, a 3.06 ERA.
Well, and lefties, Bob, as you said, he gets righties out. They still hit 3.08 off of Herrera, mostly in May. 3.75 batting average against left-handers off of Herrera.
The shift is on. This guy throws a screwball. That's a breaking pitch that Dunn grounds on the first pitch he sees from that pitcher this year. Reds out of the inning, 2-2 into the 7th. Two runs the difference. One blowout win in Houston on Monday. We didn't know how to act after that one, or during that one for that matter. But Rob, a well-pitched game tonight, even though both starters didn't go that deep and threw a lot of pitches.
Well, and both guys are allergic to contact and wood tonight. They're staying way on the outside periphery of the strike zone, and they have to. I mean, neither guy throws over 87, 88 miles an hour. Harang maybe a little bit better. They have a lot of junk, and that's what they did tonight. And Harang just got to 100 pitches quicker. And now Livan Hernandez, he's right there. So the bottom line is, those were two pitchers right there that have to pitch. They have to hit their spots. And I'll tell you, Bellino had a pretty good zone for a rookie umpire. And that's the way it used to be called, to where you gave a little bit of the outside corner. The hitters have gone up there. They've gotten their hits, but nobody's really squared up either man that well.
Tyler Clippard takes over for the Nats in the 7th, top of the order for the Reds. It was interesting coming into the series. You'd look at the offensive numbers of Cincinnati, the pitching and the defense of Washington. You'd say, uh-oh, it's going to be a tough weekend, and it still might be. But the Reds love guys who throw hard, like Clippard and like Matt Capps. They're not really a ball club that relishes facing guys like Livan Hernandez that much. Cabrera 1 for 3, scored a run last time after going to second base on a balk following his single. Clippard gets one to the corner. And the count's 0-2. The Reds have 8 hits, the Nats have 9. High gas, hitter gone. All right, Rob, we're going to show you the balk and the one that was not called.
Well, here's the thing. You have to step out of the rubber first. You can't move the front leg. And both times, it's basically a balk. He moves the front leg, bends the knee. But this is something that's such a ticky-tack call. You have to be warned. Look at the no balk on the right side. He moves the front knee first, spins out of the rubber. And so he got the first call was a balk, the second one wasn't. He did the exact same thing both times. He's probably been doing it for 12 years, 13 years.
And this is an umpire who's probably seen Levon in person for the first time.
Oh, yeah, and I'm sure Joe West has 33 years in. Angel Hernandez has a lot of time. I'm sure they said, listen, be prepared. This guy has like a balk move, they would call it. He'll lift the front leg a little bit and then throw to first. A lot of righties do it to try to keep the runners close. But it's so quick. I mean, we barely picked it up on slow motion cameras.
Brandon Phillips 2 for 3 with an RBI.
But I mean, for a guy like Levon, he does everything so well, and to try to pick apart one part of his stretch mechanics and call a balk on it, it's some really nitpicky stuff.
Cost the Nats a run.
I mean, how about the balk call that cost? Who did the Dodgers beat with it? Was it the Diamondbacks? It's just that's one of the. First of all, that shouldn't be allowed. You shouldn't end the game on a balk. This is one of the worst calls I've ever seen.
Phillips reaching. That's a 2-hopper for Ian Desmond. And a couple of quickies here in the 7th. Joey Votto coming up. First pitch swinging. Votto with a base hit to left center. He's 1 for 4. And that will get Scott Rowland to the plate here in the 7th. Rowland, a walk, a single, a pop-up.
One of the things Mike Rizzo's done in Washington, which is similar to Walt Jockey, you find a bunch of guys that are veterans, have gone to the playoffs, have won some championships, hate to lose, will be a good influence on the younger guys in the clubhouse, and they've built a team in Cincinnati like that. Not a lot of superstar guys,
right,
but a lot of guys that hate losing and are unselfish. And you see that with the Reds players. When they have to hit behind each other, they do it. When they have to play solid defense, they get that done too.
Oh, he had him leaning. Joey Votto has stolen 6 bases in 9 attempts this year.
It's a great move by Tyler Clippard right here. He's picked off a few people already this year.
And many baseball experts feel if you don't have a lead where you have to dive back in, you don't have a big enough lead.
Agreed.
So he was able to get back in.
Agreed. So he should get more. He's going back to the bag.
That's a foul ball.
Oh.
Hugging the chalk all the way down.
That's one of those you wanted to be fair because Rowland never got out of the box. This ball is well struck by Rowland down the line. And it is foul, but as you saw there on the replay, Rowland's about 2 steps down the first baseline with the bat still in his hand.
Third baseman. Get better.
He didn't. He wants something hit a little bit harder. We just want him this right here. He does!
Tyler Clippard mowing down a couple of Reds. 7th inning stretch time for 33,774 here in a 2-2 game. someday. There he goes. He's ready. Help send your favorite Nationals to the All-Star Game in Anaheim this July. You can vote up to 25 times at Nationals.com. Vote early and often, and you can vote today, tomorrow, all weekend at Nationals.com. Opportunistic heading, Rob, for the 2 runs, although the Nats have stranded 11 men tonight.
Yeah, we need to do a little bit better job getting those guys we leave on base early in the game. A couple of key hits with runners in scoring position, manufactured 2 runs, and it's been awful quiet. I mean, crickets over there on the Nationals bench.
Anario Del Rosario. He's only 24.
That's a name right there.
That's a great name.
Anario Del Rosario.
He follows Daniel Ray Herrera.
Well, Daniel Ray from Odessa, Texas. Little Texas looks like David and Goliath. Little Texas got the big Texas.
This guy's been in the minor leagues for well over 5 years. Recently called up.
Quite a chain right there.
Right now, Nick Massett, who the Reds picked up in the Griffey deal from the White Sox a couple of years ago, is their setup guy. And, of course, Francisco Cordero, their hard-throwing closer, has 16 saves.
$47 million man.
He's blown 3, so he's 16 of 19. Matt Capps is 17 out of 20. And Matt Capps is 1 umpire's call and 1 caught fly ball away from being 19 out of 20. And the Nats, that other game they won against Baltimore when Willingham hit the walk-off homer. The Capper's fine. So here's Josh, 0 for 3 tonight, and that's away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Usually closes below him in 3s, and then they're right back.
Drew Storen on your right, Doug Slayton on the left.
Matt Capps, Waterboy.
2-1 to Willingham. Time to look for something and drive it. Can't do that. 3-1, way out there.
This Reds pitcher is very hungry. A lot of nibbling going over the plate.
Hard-throwing Mike Lincoln went on the DL Tuesday, and this young pitcher was called up. And Dan Bellino gives a rookie pitcher a very generous strike.
Well, Mr. Bellino has given this pitch all night. He saw Hernandez bring it back over the plate.
3-2, and Willingham with a base hit. Just beyond the reach of Cabrera. And the Nats are into double digits in hits tonight. Roger Bernardina, yesterday in Houston, made an outstanding play on Jeff Keppinger in the 3rd inning. And tonight, wearing the white home uniform, Rob, equally nice.
Well, first of all, he's getting better jumps on balls. He's a natural center fielder. It's hard to turn and go the other way, and he's done a great job of that. Did one in New York, game saver. A couple of great catches right there. Bottom line is, all see it differently coming into right field and center field. So sometimes he doesn't get the greatest jumps, doesn't take the best routes. He's learning.
Leadoff man aboard. This could be a bunting situation. Late enough in the game for that. No sign of squaring, and that's ball 1.
Well, he's got great closing speed too. So when he doesn't get the best of jumps, he can close in. Like you nailed it. Greyhound, Cheetah. I mean, this guy has just 0 to 60 speed, which you can't teach speed. What?
1-1 to Roger with an RBI single and a walk tonight. 2-2 ball game, bottom 7. And Bernardino lifts it into left center. Drew Stubbs and Gomes. And they the ball. Bad mistake by the Cincinnati outfield. You got to let the center fielder take charge, and Johnny Gomes did not. 2 on, nobody out. Oh, it happens to other teams too, huh?
Every now and then the Nats are going to catch some breaks, and right here is a huge break for the Washington Nationals.
You know, they give the error to the center fielder. I would have to give it to Johnny Gomes.
Johnny Gomes should get this error. That stubbed his ball all the way. We've talked about this with Nigel Morgan.
Well, how can they give the error to Stubbs? He never even touched the ball.
It's our official scorer. We've argued with him since I've been here.
Well, they'll change that as soon as they look at a couple of replays. That's got to be on Johnny Gomes. 2 on, nobody out. And here's Desmond. Now that you're getting to the bottom of the order, looks like a bunt situation. And just safe is Willingham at second. He really went in hard to the shortstop Cabrera there.
It's like Josh was back in high school playing football.
And you better be ready for an Alabama guy on a play like this.
Oh, yeah. He knows he got too much, and so he dives back in there. Oh. Look at where the shoulder hits.
Right through the shortstop. Wow. I'm not sure I've ever seen a guy since Pete Rose head first hit an infielder that hard.
The Cabrera got right back up.
That couldn't have felt too bad.
Oh, you got to give yourself up, Ian. Come on.
Now it's 0-2, and you really can't bunt anything.
Well, you're not bunting for a base hit. And you got to bend the knees and lower the bat. You don't try to stab at it. It's not a pinata.
Won the count. Pardon me, I saw the scoreboard a moment ago and thought it was 0-2. Now it's 1-2.
He was just trying to help you out, Bob.
But the Nats had the bunt on for a pitch or two and took it off. Catcher next. Pitcher spot after that. And a good take by Desmond gets the count back 2-2. Boy, you don't want to swing at that pitch. That's a double play ball waiting to happen.
Ian Desmond, also one of the best hitters at night. That's unbelievable. Good breaking ball there, right off the instep of his front foot.
A lot of pitchers will go right back in there. And Desmond with a base hit to left. Here comes Willingham. He will score. Nationals lead 3-2.
Sweet! Atta boy.
Nationals make the error hurt and take a 3-2 lead in the 7th.
Desmond came in tonight hitting .323 in night games. You saw the runners in scoring position. He gets a good pitch inside, doesn't try to kill it. Base hit, scores your run, and there goes the hammer, laying it down.
And with Willie Harris on deck, this should be Will Nieves bunting. There to go. That'll work.
Nobody there. Oh, and that might have hurt.
And Brandon Phillips just had Will Nieves run right into his arm on an almost disastrous play by Del Rosario. He looked at third, nobody was there. Still had time to throw out the hitter. Like that several years ago got Scott Rowland seriously injured when he was a base runner running into Hee-Sop Choi out in L.A. on just such a throw. That is one of the most dangerous plays in baseball.
Well, you never want to get a throw where it pulls the second baseman and or first baseman. We watched in San Diego, Adrian Gonzalez just let a ball go. He wasn't going to reach across and try to catch the ball like this. And here you're going to see a very good bump by Will Nieves, perfectly executed. Roland has to come in, the pitcher. Delisario, what is he thinking? There's nobody home there. Turns around, actually makes a heck of a throw, but it's in the lane right here, and Will Nieves almost takes the arm and shoulder off of Brandon Phillips. Now watch, where are you going with that? And then he turns around, makes a beautiful throw, but almost kills the second baseman.
Well, he's lucky it's not bases loaded, nobody out. Infield is in, second and third, one out. And this is where the Nats can really make the error hurt. Really, Harris first pitch swinging. Are they going to send Bernardino?
Yes.
And the ball hits the mound. The Nationals score. Everybody is safe. You got to send a guy with that kind of speed. Sac fly to Willie Harris, even though he didn't hit it very deep.
Well, it was effective. That's what speed does for you. Dusty Baker's going to come out now and argue the play at third because that's another run in scoring position. But right here, you're going to see a very nice throw until it hits the mound on the fly and goes right. So Stubbs, strong throw, and then Desmond is off the bag. That is a bad call at third base, by the way. Roland tagged him after the fact. There's the first play on the score.
Now the umpires are consulting, and if they call Desmond out, Jim Riggleman will come out.
I knew it. That's just a brutal call.
And now Desmond's been tossed out of the game by Joe West, who continues to toss people out. The run will count, obviously.
You're going to tell me, though, Bob, the first base umpire walked across the field to make that call, and then ejects the shortstop. That is just unbelievable. Bud Selig has to retire Joe West. This is just so absurd, it's not even funny.
Nationals scored 2 runs, and Joe West is influencing ball games from a base again. Umpires can figure out a way to take those away, so it is a 4-2 game into the 8th inning. But once again, Joe West comes from the other side of the field. Now there's Bernardino safe. Desmond into the bag at third. He's safe initially. Did Scott Rowland knock him off the bag?
Well, it doesn't matter. It's a safe call right there, and the guy's standing 2 feet from him.
Now who changed the call?
Joe West and Angel Hernandez walk across the field and consult and say, listen, he was off the base. You can't change that call.
That's a judgment call.
That's a judgment call. It's just not a reviewable, changeable call. This is so absurd. Unbelievable. See, what the Nationals have to do is send the videotape to the commissioner's office. You cannot change calls like this after the fact.
That's not a ground rule. That's not a baseball rule. It's a judgment call. And then as soon as somebody gets upset, Joe West can't wait to toss somebody out of the game.
Joe West cannot walk across the field and make that call. There's absolutely no way at any level a first base ump can overrule the guy standing 2 feet from it, but he just did it.
Evidently, after 33 years, you can do whatever you want.
You got to retire that guy. He's a fossil. It's unacceptable, and you're trying to change the outcome of ball games. He threw Mark Burley out of the game. He was fined and a stern talking to. They should make that stuff public, by the way. They do it with the players. That's just absurd. Two of the worst umpires in the same crew. Angel Hernandez and Joe West.
Alberto Gonzalez into the game to play short. He'll replace Ian Desmond, who was ejected. Oh, that was a quick trigger.
It's unbelievable. You changed the judgment call.
Here's Drew Storen. And the Reds immediately get a base hit.
And you took our best shortstop off the field.
Now, I haven't heard an announcement yet whether or not the Nats are playing the game under protest. And maybe they can't, Rob, because it's a judgment call. But then how can you overturn a judgment call?
I've never seen it. But I've seen a lot of strange things from umpires this year, and this is just getting worse. I mean, we could tell that the third base umpire blew the call. That's fine. But you can't have the first base umpire walk 100+ feet across the diamond and overrule the call just because you think he made the wrong call.
Here's Johnny Gomes. Suddenly the tying runs in the batter's box, and he goes deep to center. Nyjer Morgan is there.
I would love to know what was said with the umpires. Did you go up to the other umpire and go, you blew the call, we're going to have to change it?
You saw Paul Schreiber, well after the play, continue to tell Scott Rowland that Desmond was safe.
Yep.
So Paul Schreiber's not the guy we're faulting here.
No.
If a crew chief comes over
and overrules you, what are you going to do? It's absurd.
What are you going to call? Or just when you think
you've seen it all.
You know, if they overturn that call, maybe they should call the guy out in Detroit now.
Yeah.
One ball and one strike to Drew Stubbs. When you got the top of your order coming up after that. Storen with that breaking ball missing away. 2 balls, 1 strike. As we mentioned, Drew's been nibbling a little bit here at the major league level. Storen in 8 innings has walked 5, struck out 5.
Because I think in the minor leagues he was just going right after hitters, and so far up here, I don't know why they keep having a guy who throws 95 miles an hour flip sliders and changes up there. And this guy's nowhere near on his pitch.
That was mid-90s right there.
Throwing a breaking ball right here is helping a young hitter like Drew Stubbs.
I think these young pitchers need to start shaking some people off. It's their pitch, not the catchers. Stubbs with a base hit and 2 walks tonight. Oh, Gonzalez to Guzman! And safe. Well, that Stubbs can fly. Yeah, but that was a dandy 6-4 by Alberto Gonzalez. Even a perfect throw wouldn't have been in time.
This is an absolute rocket that Alberto Gonzalez pressed into service because of Ian Desmond being thrown out. Makes just a terrific fielding play. Nice flip, bare hand, bare hand. And you're not going to turn that even if it was clean.
Here's the catcher, Ramon Hernandez. And here comes Steve McCaddy. Juice Doran pitched yesterday and ran into some problems. He walked a man, gave up a base hit in the 7th, but then got 3 consecutive tough hitters.
Well, he jams Berkman. Great breaking ball to Carlos Lee. And then I got away with one slider right there that because Pence was looking for 95 and got the backup slider, he got lucky with that. Now other guys might hit that out of the ballpark, so you just got to be careful. Don't get so pumped up that you don't finish your pitches. If you're going to throw a slider and you're trying to get a guy out, make it below the knees and run it away from him.
Sean Burnett, if needed. Lance Nix, left-handed batters in the on-deck circle for the pitcher. That's why the Nats warm a lefty.
Unhittable, so knowing that this guy got hit on a bad breaking ball, you should not be calling breaking balls on this guy. Doesn't mean just throw rifle 95 down the middle, locate it in or out. I throw it away.
This looks like a slider call.
I'm not happy with it. See? You're hanging him up in this guy's face. That's just what he's going to take you out of the yard on. And that's why I'm not happy with the games that Will Nieves has called. This kid throws 95. Until Ramon Hernandez shows he can even catch up to 95, you don't call anything else.
Like that. No chance. 2-2. You've got a pitch to play with here if you want to take him up the ladder.
Or even take it a foot outside. I mean, my first couple years in the big leagues, Bob, all I did was throw 95 away from guys. Once you get ahead, you just keep throwing it farther outside. They'll keep chasing it. And when they don't, you bring it back inside, maybe throw a slider in the dirt. But there's no reason to throw this guy an 82-mile-an-hour slider. Now, that missed. 3-2. This would be a good time for a slider because he won't be expecting it.
Nationals lead 4-2, top of the 8th. 2 outs with a runner at first. Fastball strikes him out. Another scoreless inning for Juice Doran. History's Ice Road Truckers are back. Don't miss a sneak peek of the new season coming up. about trying out some single A ball down in Woodbridge. The Potomac Nationals. Dollar's drink specials Thursdays. Saturday home games, fireworks show after every one. Kids run the bases after every weekend game. 703-590-2311. Join the party with the Potomac Nationals. From where we sit, it's only a half hour away.
No, you and Ray brought the controversy back with you. Capitals.
Well, I'm sure Ray will have something to say about that play.
There you go.
We'll put our gold gloves boxer to work on them.
Come on, Joe. Go sing your country music and it's just absurdity. It's absurd.
Bottom of the 8th inning, Guzman, Morgan, and Zimmerman. Nerio Del Rosario still pitching for the Reds. I guess that goes down as a double play for Cincinnati on the stat sheet. I guess we'll find out tomorrow. You know, that's your standard 8-2-5. Push the guy off the bag, throw him out.
Overruled by the crew chief, out.
And then Desmond gets ejected because he gets upset.
How could you not get upset? You're safe. The guy just called you safe. But I say you're out because I'm the farthest umpire from the play. I had a clear view of it 140 feet away.
Well, at least she charged the ball.
Whatever.
I have a feeling somebody's going to hear about that one from New York.
They won't do it. These umpires are running amok right now. Just doing whatever they want.
Guzman's going to go for a walk and stare down Dan Bellino. Or better yet, just ignore him. Because umpires don't want to be looked at. You're showing them up.
No, I mean, I haven't been in favor of replay, but maybe if it'll make these guys tighten up and be better umpires, then I would be in favor of it.
2-2. Ironic that call would come a couple of innings after we had that very good question about whether or not something should be done by the call Wednesday.
Well, we've said something needs to be done about the umpiring. I mean, the home plate umpiring's been brutal for years. The playoffs last year were atrocious.
And Guzman will hit one into right field. He's 2 for 5 tonight. And the Nats have a very important insurance run on base. Niger Morgan could be bunting here, Rob, and if Jim Riggleman calls that, you'd like the call because this guy could turn a sacrifice into a bunt base hit at any time.
Yes, but you need him to first get the bunt down.
Get it down and then run like crazy.
Right. And we know that he can't get the ball to the right side. He tried. He did get that swinging bunt hit in Houston.
That was a bad throw, and Cabrera made a really good play. That's really
Hernandez, yeah. That's
just not a good punt at all.
No. It's amazing, but at this level, to not have the fundamentals to lay down a 10-foot bunt. It's about 2 feet in front of home plate. Hernandez comes up, terrible throw, but picked by a Gold Glove or former Gold Glove shortstop who's had incredible skills. Look at this pick. Backhand pick. Guzman trying to spike him in the behind. He's already taken a front shoulder shot to the groin.
Tough decision here for the Reds. Ryan Zimmerman hits right-handers better than lefties. But if they walk him, they're staring at Adam Dunn. They do have a lefty throwing. Arthur Rhodes, who's been around for a long, long time.
Well, and if you're Brian Price, and he's an excellent pitching coach in his own right, Seattle, Arizona, done some nice things in the major leagues as a pitching coach. You just go out there and you remind the kid. You say, listen, this kid, Zimmerman, can lose a ball as well as Dunn, so don't make a mistake. But I don't think you pitch around Zim to get to Big Bat Dunn, possibly Josh Willingham.
Well, unless you're going to change pitchers to the left-hander. But then you're really deep in the woods against Willingham. Ryan Zimmerman 1 for 3 with a walk. Morgan started, then stopped. And now that the sacrifice has failed, I think you concede second base and leave him there to give two boppers a chance to drive him home. You cannot afford to have Nigel Morgan thrown out stealing here. Not when he's 12 for 21.
He steals like a catcher. Not like a guy that has good speed. Just because you're fast. Bernie Williams was never a good base stealer. One of the fastest guys I've ever seen nor played with. But he couldn't steal a base to save his life. He was not a good base stealer. So Nigel needs to stay there. If Zimmerman gets a double or Adam Dunn gets a double, that's an insurance run that the club needs. This isn't a movie. This is actual reality here, and it's a real baseball game.
Zimmerman pops it up right field. In comes Jay Bruce. And it'll be up to Adam Dunn. We'll see if they go to the lefty, and they will. It's all in the preparation of Chili's. You can go to chili'sbaseball.com and win a free VIP baseball trip. Oh, we love the racks of ribs, the baby backs at Chili's. Here comes Dusty Baker. He'll take out Del Rosario and go with Arthur Rhodes. A big power lefty-lefty matchup coming up in the bottom of the 8th. Nationals. Sheet, but Adam Dunn's had a good night with a couple of hits. He'll be batting in a moment. Livan Hernandez pitching well enough to win, but he'll get a no decision. And Ian Desmond 2 for 4, and the big blow in RBI hit in the 7th inning.
Ian Desmond got a hit in the pitch on the inner half. He just drives a single into left field. Josh Willingham running on contact, scores easily, and the kid has another big hit. And then Willie Harris. Tag play, Bernardino coming home and hits the mound. Pitcher picks it up, flicks it over to third. Roland kind of pushes Desmond off the base, and he's safe. And then a questionable call. Joe West, not to be outdone by Jim Joyce in Detroit, comes over and says, "Oh, I saw the play from first base." And not only calls Ian Desmond out, but Bob throws him out of the game. Just amazing.
Arthur Rhodes has been pitching in the big league since '91. Adam Dunn is 0 for 11 against him with 6 strikeouts.
Oh, then he's due. It's time.
Target away. 0-2 pitch. And close enough to be swinging. Well, more drama tomorrow night at 7:05. Luis Adelano against young Mike Leake. A couple of pretty winning. The rookie pitcher so far, combined record of 9-1 when they meet tomorrow night. And the Nats trying to put some insurance on the board here in the 8th inning.
Seems to be on the fastball. Be careful now. You watch for the breaking ball. Arthur's got one of the best. Big sweeping breaking ball.
Here comes the 9th inning. Here comes Matt Capps. Last outs have been hard to get for the Nats this week, and here we go. Him in a moment, and a defensive change. Nationals on top, 4-2. And Johnny and Ray right here at the ballpark after the game. Jim Riggleman live. Post-game reaction and analysis. It's a young pitching matchup. Adelano and Leak tomorrow night. It's all coming your way on Nats Extra Verizon Wireless. Straight ahead. Mike Morse will bat 9th and play first base for the Nationals. No other defensive changes. Matt Capps will face pinch hitter Lance Nix to lead off the 9th. Lance Nix as a pinch hitter, 2 for 16 with a solo pinch home run. There's that good fastball to get ahead. Capps may be the unluckiest guy on the road trip. So very close to 2 more saves. And a base hit by Nix. Here we go in the 9th inning again. It's amazing how hard it is to get the last 3 outs. Opponent's batting average, because of the recent appearances by Capps, up to 286. Tying run in the batter's box, and here's Cabrera. 23 hits in this game, 12 by the home team.
Now you have to think along with the game. Got a guy on first. How do I get 2 outs with 1 pitch? Got to throw a few sliders here. You just can't go all power.
Hard sinking fastball missing.
You know, sometimes you think, well, they're right on the slider with that. That wasn't a great hit by Nix. Opposite field, dying quail in the left field. You can't doubt your stuff.
2-0. Best hitting team in the National League, not going down without a fight here in the 9th. Into left, not too deep. Willingham is there for the first down.
Great fastball in on the hands of Cabrera. He had no chance to try and turn on that, although he did. That's not where his money is. He's a line drive slasher. Here's the pitch track. 2-0. Might have been thinking breaking ball. It's 94 in on his hands. And nope, he didn't get around good enough on that one.
Brandon Phillips and Joey Votto, two guys with power, the next two hitters. Brandon Phillips has had a good night. 2 for 4 with an RBI hit.
You pick your poison with Phillips. You can try and throw sliders to get the double play, or you can challenge him away where he might slap it into right field. Fastball away. It's a good pitch. You also might get lucky with a fastball away that the guy tries to pull it and he puts it right to your shortstop. Can't outthink it. You just got to try to go right after the hitters and they'll get themselves out.
Yikes.
You would think you knew what was coming. Okay, so if you're Caps, you got to try to block that out of your head.
He probably doesn't even know it.
I'm sure he does.
1-1 pitch.
Very nice slider. Don't start tightening up the zone just because it's the last inning. Very nice 1-1 slider coming up right here. Again, same spot.
.92 hitter late.
He took something off of the sinker. Didn't sink on the side.
Dangerous power hitting lefty next in Joey Votto. Big crowd, almost 34,000 here tonight.
Caps goes to the third base side of the rubber.
And a line drive base hit. Now the tying runs on base, still only 1 out.
Well, I would have liked a slider right there. Still a good pitch. Jammed the heck out of him on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. It's just when things are going bad for you, they go bad for you. And right now, he's got to try to roll a double play.
Matt Capps has now given up 6 hits in his last 3 appearances. And he has Votto and Roland to deal with here unless there's a double play.
1 for 3 lifetime, so it's not as bad as Brandon Phillips. 2 home runs. Hitting now about 700 off of him.
Joey Votto tonight, 1 for 4 with a base hit. Hits are even at 12. Nationals lead 4-2, top of the 9th. With 2 runners aboard. Even though that ball was center cut, he was late.
I mean, you got to do the pitch recognition here as a catcher and the pitcher. He's not getting around on the fastball, even though that one should have been hit out of the ballpark. They're not taking you deep. You're jamming them. They're getting these little beaters off of you. Maybe the worst thing in the world to throw something like 80 miles an hour in the dirt away. Fastball.
0-2 count. Got him on the inside corner. A perfect paint of the black. for Metcalf.
You can't throw a pitch any better than Metcalf's right here. 0-2. He's looking off speed. 95 on the inner half. No way he could pull the trigger with his bat on that. He knew it.
Scott Rowland now, one of the best hitters in the league this year. Final hope for the Reds.
Every bit is dangerous.
Crowd coming to its feet here. Perfect on the outer half of the plate. That might be the same pitch he just threw to the left-hander.
It looked like he got the call, too. Might have been a little off the plate, but he's so close. Good call. You want to get beat by Rowland. You don't want to get beat on the inner half. You want to get beat away. You got Greyhound out in right field like running back.
And the slider away.
Randy Myers, a teammate of mine, had over 300-plus saves, hitting that outside corner with nothing but a fastball for 15 years. Occasionally he gave up home runs away, but not that often.
Rowland pops it up. When the Avis is there, the Nationals beat the Reds. And a badly needed win it is to break a 3-game losing streak.